What's going on, guys? Power of Tabarn here. This has been a long time coming. I skipped overviews for the last two sets, but we are going to be doing an overview of set 14. I am joined by three special guests. Introduce yourselves, please.
Alright.
I am Daniel.
We didn't establish an order. This is chaotic.
Yeah, we should probably establish an order. Aku, you start.
Whatever. Okay. I am Aku. I play aggro. That's it.
Well, maybe not anymore. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, right. The big Azura.
We got Daniel here too. Say hi.
Yeah, I'm Daniel. I play Cipher. That's all I do.
And finally, we have Kokusho.
Hey, folks, it's me, Cook.
Okay. So the four of us are going to go over all of the cards from set 14. It's going to be the same gig as what we did all the way back from set 11, although we're slightly less retarded now, hopefully. We don't look back on this video like we look back on the set 11 one and be like, man, we sure were stupid back then. We're going to be doing like the same thing, though. We're going to go over every card in the set. We're going to be judging their potential as main characters and as splash options, and we're going to be giving them a rating of 1 to 5 stars. 5 stars, like metagame defining, extremely crazy shit. For an MC to get 5 stars, they basically have to be Marth, so... Like, I personally won't be giving any MCs a 5 out of 5 rating this set. I'll just say that right now. Splash, though, just extremely metagame defining. You're going to have to, like, change the way the game is played. And I do actually think there are a few splash cards in this set that I'd give a 5 out of 5. We'll get into those later.
Yeah, we got some good shit this set.
Yeah. Part of the reason why we actually bothered to make an overview for this set. Part of the reason why I didn't do it for set 12 and 13 was just that there wasn't really too much to go over in those two sets. But
yeah, there was like Kanaz and like what else? Nothing, right?
Eldigan, actually.
Well, that's set 12.
Nah, Eldigan was set 12.
yeah.
It's just that no one actually
set 13,
bothered.
we had a bunch of like decent cards in retrospect in set 13, but when the set first came out, we were like, Marth and Kanas are the only good cards. We didn't understand how disgusting Eliwood and Nils were and whatnot, and Glyn. But anyways, 4 out of 5 would be like just like really solid cards. Good splash options, not something that's metagame defining, but something that could generally be considered a staple to the color. Just a good option all around. 3 is like niche. Maybe it's like an MC that struggles to deal with a lot of strong decks, but has good matchups against like a few key decks, which makes it like relevant in the meta. Or if it's just like an all-around take, like, say, Naui for an example, like a slightly worse version of an already established MC, but it does have a few matchups that are better than the other MC that would give you some reason to play the MC over the MC that would be considered better than it. Splash is the same idea, just specific options that are strong in some decks, but lack playability in, like, most of the format. Then... if it's a 1 or a 2 star, it means that, like, you wouldn't be playing it in a tournament. 2 is, like, it's playable, but you probably shouldn't be playing it, because there's just, like, better options, but you can make it work if you put in enough effort. And 1 is just, like, completely unworkable, just absolutely unviable. So that's the criteria we're going to be rating these cards with. Cards that a lot of 2 stars and 1 star, like common cards, we might just not even bother giving a rating. We'll just be like, oh, this card's shit, and we'll skip over it. But yeah, this video is going to be really long. I'm not going to skip over a fourth of the set like I did in set 11, so it's going to be even longer than the set 11 video. We have a lot to say about all these cards, so I'm going to stop rambling so we can get right into it. Starting off, we have Lucina, Exalt Lucina. The Hope-ruling Queen. So this card's main gimmick is that it has a class change cost of X, which means that you can potentially tempo it out really efficiently. How it works is its class change cost is equal to the number of orbs your opponent has. So if you get your opponent to 0 orbs, and if you have a Lucina on the board already, you can just clash change it without losing any deployment. You can still play whatever the hell you want during your deployment phase and tempo out the Lucina. On top of that, she gives a field buff that varies depending on how many cards she has underneath her during the turn that she class changes, and she provides an on-hit skill. So what do we think of Lucina, guys?
She's alright in theory. Like, I haven't seen a really strong that can really make use of all of these skills. Mostly because the draw on hit is so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the worst thing that she could have on hit, but it's pretty bad. The class change cost thing is really interesting. She's a really strong finisher for a lot of decks that are just beating the opponent down really hard. But outside of that, I don't think she's really anything too good. I'd give it like a 3 maybe.
Yeah, I'd say she's a 3 too, and the major problem she has is that like her skills don't work that good together, because the last one is more like a control-based deck with the class change allies, and the second one is like more focused in aggro, so it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah,
But
the
actually,
third
yeah.
skill definitely feels like a bit of an anomaly. I think the third skill is mostly just there if you like want to try using this card as a main promo, so it's not just completely vanilla after the turn you promote into it.
Yeah, the whole problem is that like having a lot of class change allies is really hard to pull off.
Yeah, it's inconsistent for sure.
Yeah.
Another thing that is I find pretty hard to use this card in is as Splash, because you're trying to run 8 Lucina. It's pretty hard to like splash her.
Probably
It's
want to run
pretty-
8 Lucina. She's like an overclass if you're splashing her. She uses a 2-card combo and she requires a lot of investment, but unlike our ever-present in the meta Delthea and Jenny, Lucina does not like single-handedly win you the game when you overclass, quote-unquote, into her. So, I think it's important to differentiate whether we're talking about Lucina as MC and Splash. I think for the most part we've been talking about her as a splash. We'll get into her as MC later because I do want to talk about potentially using this card as an MC, but as a splash option. The main issue I feel like is just consistency. She has like a lot of blowout potential. I feel like she can be really strong with the right setup. Like you can play her, you can use the new female Robin, which we'll get into later. You can tempo her up, and you can clash change Lucina, and you only use 1 bond doing that. You can deploy Fred off of that. Then you can play a bunch of other units during your turn. Maybe you can play like some Manicheets that are 60 base, and then they get buffed to 70 by Lucina, and you can just build this huge field over the course of this one turn. The problem with that is just obviously consistency. It requires you to have a lot of pieces together. Like with other overclass, consistency is already kind of an issue because you need to have like it's a 2-card combo. You need to have both the 1 cost and the big card. But with Lucina, it's even more inconsistent. You don't just need the 2 Lucina cards. You also need access. You need Fred. You need whatever cards you also want to play her with. Because this Lucina isn't really that great by herself if you're running her as Splash. You want to make use of that field buff. You want to run stuff that's going to benefit from that field buff. If you're just playing her by herself, what is she doing? She's basically just a beater. She's not really doing much of anything.
She doesn't even buff herself.
Yeah, exactly. She's just a 70 beater. So she requires a lot of deck space. She's really inconsistent. And we'll get into it this later, but tempo in general has taken a pretty big hit this set because a lot of really good cards this set just wipe the board. Not even destroy one of your opponent's units, destroy them all. Just get rid of all of them. It's pretty nasty. Especially for tempo-oriented strategies, which Lucina definitely seems to cater towards, at least as a splash. I think Lucina might have some potential as an MC. I feel like her main issue as MC is just the fact that I think this Lucina is a really solid finisher for Lucina MC. Figs mentioned earlier, I was talking with him, he said that Lucina is basically just a good version of a Victory Nears card. Like, you think, like, Victory Nears Marth, Victory Nears Roy, you know. Those cards are kind of shitty, you wouldn't run them. But Lucina, on the other hand, is a lot better because she doesn't cost you... She does, like, the same thing, but she doesn't cost you bonds, and she doesn't cost you deployment either, since chances are, if you're trying to finish him off of this card, she costs She has a class change cost of 0, so you can do a lot more with her than you could with, say, Marth and Roy. The main issue of that I see is just the fact that, like, yeah, she's actually a super solid finisher for Lucina MC. You can potentially just buff your field for plus 20 or even plus 30 for free if you're using this card as your finisher. And God forbid you have multiple Lucina in your hand. You just, like, give your field an insane field buff. Yeah, I think she's a really solid finisher for Lucina MC. The issue of this is just that, like, as main promo, yeah, she has Beyond Hit skill, but that's it. She doesn't really have much going for her as main promo. And Lucina, as a unit, as, like, a whole, does not have a good main promo. Set 1 Lucina is, in my opinion, her best option. It gives her Manakete emblem ramp. With the right setup, you could, like, if you run, like, Fred or the new Grima, or not new Grima, the new female Robin, we'll get into her later. Or if you if one of your units manages to survive on board the turn prior, then you can potentially get like 6 bonds by turn 4 with set 1 Lucina, but it's inconsistent. It's in theory really strong, like obviously turn 4 overclass is really cool, but even then it still has a lot of issues. You're just completely axing your hand, it's really inconsistent. You don't really do much of anything after you overclass. And I feel like that's your best bet if you want to play Lucina MC and you want to run this card as a finisher. So yeah, right now I feel like this card has a lot of potential that's worth tapping into, but as Splash I feel like she's inconsistent and she lacks a good home. And as MC, I feel like Lucina herself is just too lacking in order to really make use of this card. I'll give it a 3 out of 5 as both MC and Splash. I think that it has potential. I think it could potentially become good at some point, but for now, I'm not that big of a fan.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, just 3 out of 5.
Yeah, for
Sounds
both
good.
MC and Splash.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as MC, I'd probably say she's like tier 3 at most, because she could work as a really aggro deck, like trying to get to the 0 promotion as soon as possible, but I don't think that really works, to be honest.
Yeah. So bridge promo. Lucina got a pretty good bridge promo this set. It works well, even better, like if you're trying to use this Lucina as your finisher and you're playing Lucina MC, because turn 2 you can class change into this thing, turn 3 you class change into whatever Lucina you want to use as your main promo, whether it be set 1 Lucina or set 4 Lucina.
Yeah.
And then when you want to finish the game off of this card, plus 30 to your buff, or plus 30 to your board, because you have 3 Lucina in your stack.
Yeah.
And yeah, 70 base, turn 2 bridge is just super good. If you're going first, it basically means you're invincible for a turn. It's one of the reasons why Gawain, we'll get into him later, is shaping up to be a really solid MC. Just having access to him. Turn 270 bridge is super strong.
You can also just grab like her main promo.
Yeah, although it's a tad inconsistent because it requires you to class change another ally, which, like, how are you going to do that before, like, turn 4 generally? And then you, like, promote turn 5, and it's just like, ugh.
Good overall.
Yeah, it's fine. Not too much to say here. And I'm probably not going to give ratings to, like, stuff like bridge promos. It's just nice. It's quality of life support for Lucina MC. It's not going to make her, like, the best MC in the game, but it's good to have. Lucina's 1 cost.
Pretty much.
Double break.
Pretty whatever. When another ally clash changes, so like the earliest another ally is going to be clash changing generally is like turn 3 if you're running like old ass Cynthia or something. And if you're doing that, and you probably want to promote turn 3 anyways, so this card is just super vanilla. All of Lucina's other MCs or cost 1 MCs are pretty vanilla as is though, so not really too much to say here.
There's like the old one that can once something clash changes can search a Lucina.
Yeah, I mean it's the same thing as this card though. Clash changing happens at like turn 3 on the earliest. Unless you like play like a card
Cynthia
on turn
1 in the back
survives, yeah,
and then you class change into Cynthia 1.
Which is alright. But if you're doing that, you probably should just use the other Marcina, as Haku mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move on. Fucking Paladino is that what we're calling this guy?
Yeah,
Paladino Chrom. This guy's a meme. Poor Chrom, dude. He's like, he hasn't got anything since set 8. Thought he was going to get an SR in set 12. Nope. Okay, then he'll probably get an SR this set. Nope. So, yeah.
We don't even know what the next blue set is.
Yeah. Hopefully Chrom will get an SR that set. Knock on wood.
Maybe.
Yeah, this card's actually not that terrible as like a bridge for Chrom, because when he clash changes at worst, he gains plus 20 until the end of your opponent's turn. Sometimes he'll even gain like plus 40, which gives you like a really nice anti-aggro turn. It just makes you invincible for a while. This isn't a card you'd want to stay on though, because after the turn after he's clash changed, he's basically a vanilla 70. You can flip not 1, but 2 blue bonds to heal a Chrom.
Whoa.
Yikes.
And if it was like 2 regular bonds, maybe.
Yeah, maybe, but 2 blue bonds. And Chrom, like, already generally doesn't run too much blue in his deck, besides, like, Chrom himself, maybe Manakete Emblems, Naui.
Cordelia.
Maybe Cordelia, yeah.
Gregor?
Yeah, if you're trying to go for a control-oriented build, but, like, control and Chrom is kind of a walking contradiction. You probably want to just try and go for later mid-range, so I don't know if I'd even run Gregor and Chrom. Yeah, he's a bridge for Exalt Chrom. He's nice. He helps Exalt Chrom survive his really bad early game a bit more. If he misses ramp, you can just go into this. Definitely helps you out a bit. Chrom's still kind of a fundamentally flawed MC in my opinion. He's just too fragile, but he can't be played as control. You have to play him as like mid-range because he's like tempo-y, and control has no use for tempo. So if you're playing him as control, he's basically a vanilla MC. So yeah, this guy's fine, but he doesn't. You're trying to put a band-aid on like a gunshot wound. I feel like.
Wow.
Yeah.
Decent.
He's fine, whatever. He's just a bridge. Moving on.
Terrible, that's all we have to say, to be honest. I think.
Flip, tap, and flip 2 to add 1 card. Yeah, this is really
Hero Emblem.
Terrible. Yeah.
This is not very good.
This is a disgrace.
Alright, moving on.
Yeah.
Robin.
An actually good card.
Here we go. Now it's getting interesting.
So, this guy's definitely an interesting card. It's a very good way to describe him. He has a lot of potential, kind of like Lucina, but I feel like he has more potential to be good, at least in the current meta, than Lucina does. But we've still kind of yet to tap into that potential. So, let's talk about 60 bases and just some fundamental bullshit about Cipher. Robin gives you quote-unquote free advantage. But the thing is if you're deploying a 60 base, and that 60... Well, if you're just deploying a unit, like if you're deploying a unit and that unit has no way of going face, at least if you're playing an aggressive deck, which is probably what you're going to be playing Robin in, if you're deploying a unit that can't hit face, it's basically an inherent -1. So Robin does give you a free card, but when you take into account that his deployment is actually like an inherent -1, you're basically just cycling a card. It's not actually a free card. You're either critting with him so he can hit, in which case you're literally just cycling a card, or you're flipping a bond to use his first skill, Grandmaster's Thoron, flip a blue bond to gain 40, and you're basically getting a 1-for-1. I think he's solid. I think he works best in MCs that have ways to buff him. That way his quote-unquote free advantage actually does become free advantage. You definitely want to play him in aggressive MCs because if you're not playing him in an aggressive MC, the main way you're going to be proccing his draw skill is by forcing your opponent to dodge. And the best way to do that really is just to get your opponent to 0 orbs, because then obviously they have to dodge. You can also run him as MC. I don't know how I feel about him as MC. 60 base MCs are something that I'm really not a fan of. Maybe if you're aggressive enough, you can make it work. I think that's probably how you want to build him. I've also seen people try and build Robin MC and run like a fuck ton of on-hit cards, but I don't know how I feel about that. I think you're best just trying to play aggressive, except the fact that you're going to have to use Thoron a lot of the time, and if you want to hit with him and take the free advantage when you can get it. And since he's your MC, it's going to be a lot easier to consistently proc the critical hit aspect of his card, because if you're playing against Robin as Splash, and you need to crit, you can just kill him before you crit with whatever units you need to crit with, and that way you can prevent them from drawing off a crit. But obviously if he's MC, you can't do that, and that way you can punish your opponent whenever they want to crit. But yeah, I think he has potential as both MC and Splash.
I'd say like a 3.5 to be honest.
I'll give him a 4. I'll be generous. I think that he's pretty strong in decks that buff the board. Blue Mamui, which we've been doing some testing with recently, I think he's pretty strong in there. Mamui has his ST Mamui bridge, which can buff him, and obviously 6/5 Mamui, both get him up to 70. We haven't done too much testing with Micaiah so far this set, but he's probably pretty good there. That's another deck where he can hit 70 in. I'm going to give him a 4. I think we probably need to do more testing with him, but just like, he does give you a lot of free advantage. Free advantage is obviously inherently really good. We'll see how good he ends up really being, though. For now, I'm going to give him a 4 out of 5. As both... I'll give him a 3 out of 5 as MC, 4 out of 5 as Splash. What do you guys think?
I agree with that. It's not really that strong as an MC, really.
Yeah.
As MC, he was being compared to Soren, but like, I don't think either Soren or this card is really benefiting.
Yeah,
from
I think he's
setting
better than Soren, but I think both MCs are pretty bad, to be perfectly honest.
I don't know.
I've done some testing with 4/3 Robin as MC. If you try to go aggressive build, it's kind of like you just still run out of cards.
You played sword aggro though, didn't you?
Yeah.
I don't think you want to play sword aggro with Robin. I think you just want to play like aggressive mid-range. Sword aggro is really bad if you don't have a field buffer.
I've also tried the on-hit build. It's kind of like, it's really hurt by you being 60 base.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of
you
the
just
on-hit
die
build.
really fast.
That type of build is definitely a build where like you need to be a 70 base.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that build. But yeah, I think I do think he has untapped potential as MC. I kind of want to try just like running Wallheart in him. Wallheart 5, and then your opponent has to crit it to kill it, and then you draw a fucking card. It'd be funny.
Or they have a backline unit, and then
no, they play new Grima 70 into 70.
Or they just pop it using new Grima skill. Next.
Okay. I'll be right back, guys. You guys can continue to give your thoughts on this card. Give me a sec.
Yeah, in general, I don't think it has potential, but I don't think it can do that much, especially considering he's a Tom unit, and Tom units are getting pretty fucked because Leo 5.
Yeah, new Leo 5. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
I think it's pretty bad as MC, but as Flash, I could see this being played in so many decks.
Yeah, I agree as well. There's a lot of like field buff decks that would like him. Just free cards. Like he said before, Blue Mamui. I recently tested that out. It's pretty good because he's a 70 base that can hit face. Just give you Mamui free cards, as if Mamui didn't get enough free cards already.
Yeah.
Right, 3 cards with him wasn't enough.
Yeah. Well, you remove one of the 3 cards, but you get a 70 beater, which is a lot better, in my opinion.
Yeah. Figuring out a read actually pays off pretty well.
Yeah. Also, you get like another splash color, which is pretty cool. We'll go into what else is in that splash color later. If he wasn't flip 1 blue bond, he'd be a lot better. But he's flip 1 blue bond. I would flip any bond for the plus 40.
Yeah, and it's a plus 40. You gotta consider that regular mages have, flip 1 for plus 10. This is plus 1, that's 4 times. Like, it's a small restriction, really.
I mean, in Cipher, plus 10 or plus 20 doesn't really matter. At least in, like, from 17 to 80, you don't really change much. And, like, when you're speaking about, like, from 90 to 100, it doesn't really matter. It could be plus 30, and it would be basically the same.
But it's just like, flipping 1 blues.
Yeah,
a lot worse than flipping 1.
Flipping 1 blue is terrible. And there are a lot of cards this set that work like that.
Yeah, I'm back, by the way. I think that flipping I think flipping 1 blue is actually not that bad. I think flipping 2 blue is fucking horrid, but I think flipping 1 blue is perfectly manageable.
It's okay. It's just like, be a lot better if it was flipping 1 colorless or anything.
I wish it was just a free plus 20. He'd be so good, dude. Holy shit. Alright. Are we ready to continue? Have you guys said it?
Yeah, we are.
Cool. My head aches. I don't think anyone's gonna run this card when you can just use 40 base Robin as your starter for playing Robin MC.
And you get to fuck Dark Emblem super hard too.
Yeah. When this
you probably play this. You probably play this in Robin MC, like
if
as
it
your
was
base card. I think so, at least.
I think if the first skill was just flip 1 bond, that'd be pretty good. But flip 1 and discard a card. The thing is,
just don't hit.
Yeah, the thing is just that being a 30 base makes it so hard to justify over being a 40 base. Because there's so many like 30 base 1-drop beaters that people run these days. And if you're a 40 base, you don't get hit by any of them. But if you're a 30 base, you get hit by all of them. It's really bad. I think part of the reason why Robin, this guy is more viable as MC compared to other 61-2 ranges that you would MC is the fact that you don't have to use this guy as your starter. You can use a 41 range as your starter. The reason why shit like Nino and whatnot, part of the reason why they're so like unviable as MC, at least in my opinion, is just being 30 base 1 range or 30 base 1 cost. It's just
you
so
get punched
bad.
by like everything.
Yeah, you just get the shit kicked out of you. But yeah, I don't think this card's good at all. Moving on. Grim.
Except not.
Except not for some fucking reason. Alright, what do we think of this card? This card is like, I don't know. Prices are fluctuating like crazy over in Big Web right now, but right now this is the most expensive card. Or not right now, but last time I checked, this is the most expensive card in the set. It's like
I actually think it's pretty bad, to be honest. I mean, not bad, but again, flip 2 bonds to deploy a thing that, like, you would rather play Frederick.
Yeah.
I guess it's not the same thing, but still, it's a bit weird.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of this card either. I think it's strong in decks, but also you have to deploy it to your front line, which is just, ugh. If you could deploy it to your back line, I'd be more of a fan of it, but even then, you're 60 base, which means that, again, this is going to be a recurring theme throughout this video. Being 70 base is really fucking important. So if you're running this card, you're probably running it with a buffer, so she can hit 70 base. Because if she isn't hitting 70 base, she's probably just straight up not worth running. Like, you're spending two blue bonds. 2 blue bonds. Like, Kokusho is already freaking about the 1 blue bond you have to spend with this dude. But you have to spend 2 blue bonds in order to summon this card. And if you aren't buffing her, she might just not even do anything. She might just, like, you wasted those 2 blue bonds to get a 60 beater who isn't going to hit because she's 60 and your opponent's MC is probably 70.
You can hit backline, but, like...
You can't hit backline, but are you really going to flip 2 bonds to hit their backline? You could just...
No.
You could play May and discard 1 card instead of flipping 2 blue bonds. You could play Ilyana.
A card that you get back.
Yeah, you could play Ilyana, discard 1 card to...
Where would you ever play this instead of Male Grima?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can play this in Male Grima in the same deck, but...
Yeah. If blue gets, like... If something comes up with blue where blue has a really good tempo MC,
that can buff her. Like, maybe if Lucina's like...
Yeah, like, I think this is
something.
definitely intended with Exalt Cena, because, you know, Exalt Cena can buff this Robin by +10. And I think, you know, the usual Mikaya Mamui, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Although even in those decks, you'll struggle
It's
to...
too blue.
It's too blue! That's so difficult. Kokusho's been testing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never had 2 blue open, except once.
Yeah.
It's
Kokusho's
like impossible.
Kokusho's tried running this in like Tempo Family, and like more than half of the deck is blue, and he still doesn't have 2 blue bonds to flip in order to summon this card. It's pretty ridiculous.
If this is gonna become like a meta card, it's in some mono blue deck, or like blue with splash.
The biggest contribution this card made to Cipher is the quote, "Die and let hope die with you."
The edge.
That's it, really. This is a pretty bad card. Flipping 2 blue is horrible. It's a 60 days that has to come to the front line, and it goes to the void if it's destroyed. It's such a bad card.
For now, I am gonna give it the same thing I gave to Lucina and M. Robin. It's got the potential, but at the same time, I don't know if I can give it anything higher than a 2. I can't really fathom myself running this in anything that I would like play in a serious setting. Maybe at some point in the future I'd give it a rating higher than a 2, but that's what I'm giving it. As Splash, obviously, like why the hell would you ever play this as MC? This is like negative 30,000 as MC. You can dash for units! Oh my god!
You can also be 60, 1-2 range.
Okay, see everything that we said about this card also applies to this. Why would you play this when you can play... well, actually...
It's this has decent potential as a splash because it's an okay pool.
Oh yeah, you can actually use it as a decent polar. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually decent. Like I would give it a 3 as
you need
splash.
a polar, and then if you're playing some like tempo deck and you need a polar, you can discard a F Robin from your hand.
Yeah.
This is like
it's okay.
Yeah.
this is like
discard an
if
F Robin.
Arvid was in blue and Arvid was bad.
Yeah. Having to discard a specific card is definitely unfortunate compared to Arvis, who can just discard whatever the hell he wants. But yeah, I'll give it a 3 as Splash. I didn't even consider the Splash potential, but as MC, it's like pretty niche. Like pull isn't something that most decks need, so not too much will run this. And decks that will run this, they'd probably rather run like Arvis or Ares or Broken Wood or whatever pull options you have available. But I think who knows, it might have some use. As far as MC is concerned,
Yeah, you're not playing that.
Yeah, you're not using this as your starter. You actually do run a 1-2 range starter when you're playing Robin F or Grima MC.
Really?
Yeah, you use...
I run the one. I run the 1 range, dude.
Nah, the 1-2 range is good because you generally will have less orbs than your opponent, so you just become 41-2 range.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to clear some pesky backline units.
Yeah,
I mean, the range
1-2 range is really good. It's just like, it's not worth reducing your attack by 10.
1-2 range is good, but 30 attack is...
But that F Robin doesn't have to worry about that because she becomes 40. So, all the benefits of 1-2 range without the drawbacks. I prefer that over the 1 range F Robin. I know she can become 50 after she takes a hit, but 50's not a very relevant power threshold. It like gives you protection against like Alice Marth, and actually no, it doesn't even give you protection against Alice Marth and Dubello, but like generally the only thing it'll give you protection from is like the opposing 1-cost MC, so you just attack with that first, then anything else that would be attacking you would either have already hit anyways or would have already missed anyways, so yeah, we're kind of going on a tangent, though. It's not really too relevant to this card in this set. This card's pretty bad. So moving on. We got Cordelia. I didn't use the good artwork. Well, that's actually a point of contention here in the community. Some people prefer VR artwork. Others prefer VR+. I prefer VR+, personally, but I didn't use any of the plus artworks for this PowerPoint. So... Cordelia's alright as a bridge for Cordelia MC.
You run this over the other bridge, because 70 base, more consistent.
Yeah, well,
on
it's
hitting
only
them.
during your turn, but still, being 70 base is good for dealing with your other bridges, and the second skill is really nice. Being able to heal. Severa probably is what you're going to be healing with this card.
Or if you're running Cynthia.
Not a fan of that card. We'll get to that later. Yeah, this card's good though. It's just a nice.
Decent, yeah, it's good.
MC. Yeah.
3 out of 5. Or 4 out of 5 bridge one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bridge
I could-
promo
I could
starters.
imagine.
If you're playing them, you can generally just give them the same rating as like you give the final promo of the MC. I feel like so. Yeah.
I need his restroom.
Okay. All right, we're back. Aku left us again.
Rip out.
I gotta do this. I gotta make the callback to the Set 11 review. Rescue Flyer! Rescue Flyer! Ah! Cringy card reviewer. Okay, moving on.
Oh boy.
In all seriousness, who fucking cares about Rescue Flyers? I cared a lot back then, but...
You don't even use this as your one cost. You use the other Cordelia that's 50
Yeah,
base.
that too. This is literally just a reprint of the Set 1 Cordelia. It's actually the same card.
The name is different.
Is it?
I think it
You
is.
can run 8 1-cost Cordelia Rescue Flyers. That's broken. Okay, whatever. It's a Rescue Flyer. Rescue Flyers are pretty whatever right now. They kind of have a niche. I feel like they might become more useful if like Roy Elliewood memes become like really prevalent. You can prevent them from Fusro dying you, but as is currently, I can't say I'd run this in anything outside of like
Nah,
not even as a starter for Cordelia MC. You have Set 4
you
Cordelia.
don't play it. You don't play this. Olivia, I'd say 2 stars to be honest, because you would play this in Inigo, but you wouldn't play this in Inigo.
I'd give her a 1 out of 5. I don't know why you'd ever
Sure.
run this card.
If you ever want to play Tempo Inigo...
Even in
might
Tempo
use-
Inigo, it's
you
not even
might
that
use
good.
it.
It's
Oh,
like,
yeah. Get out
yeah.
of it.
This card's terrible.
Yeah.
The first
I mean-
skill is like completely irrelevant. During your turn, your MC gains plus 10 attack. Like, I
mean,
guess
it
that's
might be
okay, but it's also on a 10 support. And it's just like, not a fan
Nice
of this
art.
card.
You don't play
It
it.
does have nice art. This card just doesn't like do anything though. Untap and Inigo isn't really relevant for Inigo MC. It's like a nice failsafe in case the unit Inigo buffed didn't hit, but you're giving them unavoidables, so if they have non-MC units they can hit, they probably will hit, so this card's kind of pointless, I feel like.
Yeah.
I guess you could use her to give like plus 40 to an ally of your choice, but
okay.
yeah, alright, whatever.
You don't play that. Yeah.
I guess 1 out of 5 is a bit too harsh. I'll give it a 2 out of 5. It's pretty bad. Maybe you can pull off some memery with it. Alright, so this card became an emote for some reason.
Cute.
It's nothing actually as a card.
The
Like
people wanted it, and I provided it.
People. Morgan, amnesiac girl. When another ally... Okay, so this is like the fucking Set 1 Robin 4. Like that
Yeah.
card, I don't think this is going to see any play. Flip 1 to gain plus 20 EU. You can just
Flip
play...
one blue.
Oh,
yeah.
Just play Bowie. Just play
Flip
Bowie.
one.
it's
Uh,
a card.
What is this card even?
Morgan
do?
Basically, whenever you draw a card, it becomes 70 base, and then when you take an orb, you can flip 1 to draw a card and become 70 base. But
Okay,
No,
so-
actually,
oh wait, no, never
No,
mind. They
if you have
translated
same
it to be a
arms.
different. Oh my god, what's wrong?
Like
with this card?
the last skill it's decent, but it's way too situational. That thing
From what
doesn't
I
happen that
gather,
much.
this card's just a 71 to 2 range vanilla as MC,
Yeah.
and as Splash, it's a 61 range
70 during your
vanilla.
turn, by the way.
Yeah, 70 only during your turn. So if they have like shitty 60 money mages, like this guy's a -1 unless you're playing this card as your MC. Not anymore. Yeah.
It's a card, that's all you have to say.
It's a card. It's very vanilla. It's not very good. Third skill super situational. Young tactician
My computer
boy.
keeps breaking all the time. I want to die.
Wow, that's like F
Exactly,
Robin.
F Robin.
Except
Yeah.
Morgan doesn't have a main promo, so.
Next card.
Hey, he has this as his main promo. Okay.
No.
God, no.
I cannot abide another mighty snip.
Okay, this is a
Have
5-star
mercy,
card.
Vivance Knight. Have mercy. 1 out of 5. We know what this card does.
What?
Oh, go back. Whoa.
I'm pretty sure everyone knows what this fucking card already does.
Yeah, I know, but it's fun as
Quintuple
hell.
orb break.
Nah,
Broken
dude,
die.
you win the game by
Exactly.
their entire, their eyes are like burnt to a crisp. due
Worth
to this
noting,
golden
this-
text.
This card is basically it's like Ike, dude. The flip 1 isn't once per turn, so you can just keep on untapping every time you hit it. Oh wait, it's when it's besides the main character. Boo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
shitty.
just like Ike.
Okay, yeah.
This is like
Uh,
the ultimate meme.
yeah, if you're playing this card, you're
Dude,
memeing
he has
really hard
he
on
has
your
the
opponent.
galaxy in his background. Of course,
Yeah.
it's the ultimate meme. Okay.
I mean,
Inheritor of a demon sword?
Nani? Yeah, that's right.
What? Flip 2 to gain +10 and double break.
Bro, yeah.
This is a staple in sword aggro for sure, Kappa.
Certainly.
Nah.
Let me flip my Beowulf bonds real quick.
Yeah, fuck Beowulf, who needs that card?
I have flip 2 double break.
What is the Japanese name of this again? Armor who loves armor or some shit?
Yeah, armor who loves armor.
Right, excellent Doga support.
No, this is not an excellent dog.
This is not the one. This is the
The
bad
cost one is pretty
Yeah, it's
decent.
the cost
Fourth is
one.
not.
This one is
Yeah.
useless.
Honestly, this card doesn't seem that horrid as MC. I gotta be real.
It's decent.
The fact,
I
that
mean-
you have to flip an armor bond makes it a lot worse, though. But just being like an 80 base,
It's a 90 base.
They have another card who
100
does that
base.
already.
yeah, it's 100 base if you're. Yeah, we'll get into Gay Tree later. Yeah, this guy's probably
Yeah, you can just-
this girl's probably just like a worse Gay Tree. Gay Tree's already not exactly amazing either.
It's nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Card. Yeah.
This is the
this is the
Doga
one.
support.
This is the Doga
Yeah, this is the
support.
one.
Dude, this thing hits like 1 million when you're playing Doga MC.
Yeah, it has 100 attack when you're playing Doga
What if you
MC.
support one of your 20s and it hits 110?
Oh god.
Oh gosh.
Doga keeps getting 1 cost
Man,
beaters.
imagine
but
if this
armor
was
doesn't.
when this unit is battling a cost 3 or higher instead of when this unit is attacking. That'd be crazy.
That would be absurd. Imagine that she would be a phase 1.
Doga would be like
cost
a
one
tier
base 80
2
on
MC.
Timber, you do realize if this was battling, this is a cost 1. MC Cage Out would be base 80 when you attack her. This is
Yeah, you promote your chances of hitting her go down.
I could
Okay.
see that.
That might be a little bit broken. Yeah, this is like it's drug support, whatever.
Drog support. Once armor's got a destruction, Drog's gonna be okay.
So broken, dude. So broken. Who cares?
Yeah.
I didn't even read this. I think this is a stream card. Yeah, it's not
It does.
very
It
good.
does nothing.
I didn't
Got
know
a
this
blue
was-
card.
Blue specific mage emblem and flip 1 to get 20. At least it's not flip 1 blue bond like some of these other
Yeah.
fucking cards.
I mean, it's
That's not the right name.
it's worse blue, like worse mage emblem because you have to discard first.
Dude,
yeah.
I didn't know
Oh
this
yeah, you
card
do have
was
to
in
discard first. Oh, that's like significantly worse mage emblem.
It's a terrible card. That's all that
This
is.
card's really bad. Tricorn of Intellect. When this
It's
unit's
an
attack destroyed, it's another mage emblem. Holy shit!
Yep.
Okay, let's.
What happened
Maybe
to,
one of
what
better.
happens to on-hit draw? Why can't we have more of those?
Yep, we'll see some of that.
Sheeta.
Mhm.
Yeah. Praise Shida.
Linde
Um,
1.
Sakura at some point.
This
The
card
worst
looks
SR of
insane.
this set.
Yeah,
It's-
probably.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Pretty bad.
It's,
I would say like
it's usable.
It's usable, yeah.
I mean,
It's
it's
like-
kind of niche. Like, there's at least 2 decks that come to mind that would play this.
Cordelia and what? I mean Cordelia.
Itsuki. I don't
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah,
Cordelia.
let's change full. I mean, the new card doesn't have full anymore, so you play this.
See,
Hmm.
problem with this in Cordelia, I don't know about Itsuki, but problem with this in Cordelia is why the hell would you play this when you can just play broken ass Elliewood instead? Pulls
I mean-
for free, don't need to worry about clash changing, and he buffs your board by +10. Like, it's not even a
You
comparison.
can play both. You can't guarantee you're gonna have Hollywood all the fucking time.
I don't know if
It's
I don't
a-
know if you can play both.
And,
I feel like
like,
you'd have
she's
to
a
make
seven
some pretty
for
nasty
Julia,
cuts in order to
so
run
it's-
this card, because that's another thing. So,
It's 8 cards.
yeah, you need 8 cards to run this card, because you need to, it's like Lucina. It's, if you're running her as Splash, which, I mean, you are running her as Splash, you're not running
You aren't
Splash, you're
playing her
MC.
as a main character.
Yeah, if you're running this card as Splash, it's a 2-card combo. It's like Overclass. You need to have the 1 cost, and then you need to clash change into this card so you can pull them. One thing you might be able to do is use a set 4-3-2 Cynthia. You know, she has like the movement skill, so like you
Yeah.
attack, move from the back line after you clash changed her on top of 1 cost Cynthia, and then if you're like playing Cordelia MC, then you can move the Cynthia back up to the front line, clash change into this, and then you get to pull 2 units. Whatever.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, it's bad. It's horrible.
Yes. I wouldn't say it's horrible, but it's not.
It's like
very good.
usable.
I mean,
It's like
that's
2
because-
stars.
That's because your scale is
I'd give her
different.
2 stars. I don't think she's
When I
very
say
good.
something is horrible, it's just that it's not good. When you say something is horrible, you basically mean it's unplayable.
Yeah. I think this is playable.
2
I think it's unviable. I don't think it's unplayable. I think you can use this to decent effect, but
Yeah,
I don't
like,
think it's
maybe
something
an
you'd run
Itsuki.
over better options. I'd give her a 2 out of 5.
Same.
We haven't talked about her second skill. It's kind of a waste of bonds, to be honest.
Yep,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worst first skill.
yep.
Hey, look, another Cynthia.
It's
Yeah.
worse on the set 4. Why would you play
it's
this
a
instead
lot
of the set
worse than
4?
the set 4 one.
Yep.
Yeah. Eh,
I think that's all you have to say, to be honest. I mean,
Flip
I've-
1 to 1 to 2 range. Yikes.
Hey, look, it's Kanji from Persona.
yeah.
Kokusho's man crush.
What are you talking about?
Tell him how much you love this card,
It's
Kokusho.
okay. I tried it in Marth. Marth can run anything.
So basically, the idea was he was
Understand.
trying to run the new male Grima. We'll get into later in Marth, but like Blue has like nothing to offer Marth outside of Grima himself. So he was looking for other cards that he could run as a turn 4 play, and he was so desperate that he decided to try and use this Brady, who's extremely inefficient. He flips 2 bonds to heal 1 blue card.
Hey, flip 2, grab my Grima to my hand. That's A-okay.
It's
I
not.
don't know what happened in this set, but why are all the blue heals extremely racist? They don't heal the other cards. They just heal blue cards.
I think it's just a general thing. I think in general, Cipher R&D's trying to make all the colors more exclusive and less splashable, which makes sense.
there.
Lol green.
Because back in the day,
Yeah.
besides green, there were basically no restrictions on how you could run what colors and others, besides stuff like Dragon Emblem. Yeah, I think Brady's like okay. 3 or 2 stars. I don't know. I feel like he's
2
like.
probably.
I think he's certainly playable, but I don't know if you'd actually want to run him in anything. Like maybe,
2.5.
Like, if you're running him, it's because you, like, seriously don't have any other better options. For now, I'm going to give him a 2 out of 5, because Grima and Marth didn't turn out to be that good.
It's usable.
Yeah, it's usable. Do you think 2 or 3 stars, Kokusho? You're probably more qualified than any of us since you
I'll
played this
probably go with 2 stars.
Alright.
Oh, really?
2 stars it is. As Splash, obviously. MC.
Yeah, I mean,
You're not
You don't
MC.
play
it's
this
a 90
as-
beater, lol.
Yeah, but
Awesome.
look at your starter, bud.
Ouch.
Um,
And you thought 30 days was bad.
what does this even do? He's a generic flip 2 healer. And
And
he,
then- That's
yeah.
nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it does nothing.
That second
Stop
skill's
that.
actually useless. Just run like the set 12 Lissa if you want a generic flip 2 cost 1 healer in blue.
You skipped a curve.
Yeah. Yarne.
I
Use
think this
this
is decent, to
backline.
be honest. I mean,
Is it?
I think
I
he's.
guess you can move back.
I honestly
Yeah.
think he's not that horrid.
Yeah, he's
yeah.
not bad, actually. This is probably one of the better ones we've seen so far.
I take it
Except-
back. He's pretty bad.
whoa.
Why would you play this when you can just play a 71 to 2 range?
Because
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's true.
It's like Zed. Like, you think about it at first, you're like, oh, this is sick. He can attack and then he can move back and your opponent can't hit him. Wait, I could just be playing a 41 to 2 range instead. Yeah. I guess it's cool that he's a 3-drop, so you can play him turn 4 and you can play a 1 cost. I feel like that might have some
Oh, Selkie.
10 support.
Eh,
since
Why?
just don't support him. Easy.
I guess this
the
wouldn't be too
real-
bad in Blue Selkie. I'm not a fan, though. Because in Blue Selkie, you're already running, like, Grima as a 0 support. You're already probably running Fred, who's a 10 support. So you have 12 10 supports at this point. And you're telling me you want to run this fucker and increase your 10/0 support count to 16. No thanks.
Yes.
I'm going to give him a 2 out of 5. I don't think he's very
Yeah,
good.
too.
Yeah.
But it is something.
Also,
He's-
is the text on the second skill correct?
His-
After these attacks, move it.
Yeah.
You don't have the option.
You are
have
forced to do it. You are forced to do it. I'm pretty sure. that-
Wow, that's actually pretty bad.
He's just a worse version of one. Like, these 2 skills look good at first, but then you realize they're just like a worse version of 1 to 2 range.
Yeah.
I can confirm. Yeah,
It
it's
might be funny as
compulsory.
like
You
a
have to do
meme
it.
MC who can always hide in the back line, but
Yeah.
he's 2 out of 5 at best.
Yep. Next card.
So this text is inaccurate. I'm using the lackey text, by the way, for all of these translations. This text is inaccurate. He has to be untapped in order to use the flip 1 bond skill.
Oh.
So this card's absolutely terrible. It's basically just a 40-10 vanilla with attack emblem.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Because
It's a
why would
thing.
why would you ever want to use the I'm still alive skill? Because like it's technically a 1-for-1, but it's actually a 2. It's it's a 2-for-1 because you're sacrificing his attack, which is a +1 of itself.
Yeah, it's the whole reason you're playing 1-drops.
Yeah, exactly.
You hit people in the face with it. Alright, let's see.
So this
Next
card's
card.
pretty good.
Yep.
Oh, this one is pretty good. I'm
Yeah,
glad.
this is part of a reason why Cordelia is shaping up to look like be a really good MC this set. This card's really
3
strong,
cost,
so you can
70
get it.
beater.
Yeah, being a 3 cost means you can grab it with Hinoka. It's a 70. It's basically a fucking 90 in Cordelia because she gains +10 from Cordelia's buff to Lancers, and then most of your supports are flyers, so she's basically a 90 beater. If you're running Elliewood, or Broken Wood, you give her
Yeah,
+10.
and
You
like,
can get even bigger. Not that that really matters too much at that point. Like, if you have as much attack as this unit, you're
You
going to
can
be
already
hitting no
hit
matter what.
wall heart with just being on the field.
Yeah.
yeah.
You're just a 3-drop beater that has a really strong healing skill. It's the same skill as Cordelia 3-2, but unlike Cordelia 3-2,
You can heal Cordelia with this.
You can heal Cordelia, and you're going to be on the... It's not like you're only going to be on this card for one turn, because she's your bridge. And she's splashable, unlike Cordelia, because her first skill gains plus 10 just from having her... Or plus 20 just from having
Plus
her
20, yeah.
unit, not from being class changed. So this card's really good. Very good
3-star
Hinoka
plus
target. I'd give it a 4 out of 5.
Sure.
Really
Same.
solid addition to Cordelia. Unlike this card's terrible.
Flip 1, an ally gains 10 attack. When you control a Cordelia, this gains 20 attack.
Vanilla doesn't do anything. No, like, advantage generation, just punch his face. It's an 80 base 3/2. If you like Severa MC, play Cordelia turn 1 and play this turn 2, maybe 1 out of 5.
1 out of 5, you're not doing
Yeah,
this.
this card does not do anything. I like this art. Hidden inferiority complex. Oh, this is a good addition to
Sword
Sword
Aggro.
Aggro. This is actually a really good addition
Sword
to
Aggro card.
Sword Aggro. Yeah, this card's basically set to Takumi 1.
It's not terrible, mostly because it's good because it's on both turns, but it's only
it's
a
kind of like
50.
Fairy.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
it's like Priam, but better. I think.
Yeah, it's only a 50, which isn't that good because, the bigger the better.
I think you use this over
You'd use it over Priam or Chrom.
or Chrom, yeah.
Because
Chrom.
Yeah, you use it over
she's a
Chrom,
30.
for sure.
Yeah, you definitely run her in Sword Aggro. I'd give her a 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
I think we're a 3.
I guess
Yeah,
3 maybe.
probably.
Sword
she's
Aggro
not-
sometimes just doesn't run blue.
4 is like a lot.
Yeah, and because just like she's not a very significant addition. She's just a nice quality of life improvement.
Yeah, she's not any Shannon ones.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this card's interesting. What do we think of her?
I think she's decent now, better after rotation. Like 3-star now,
Certainly,
4
she-
later.
She gets
Because
buffed
you
a
would-
lot by rotation.
Yeah, because you would rather play Noire right now. I think so, at least.
I think she's actually a pretty good card. I mean, being a 70 base, kinda... You get outshined by Naui, but
Yeah.
she's still pretty decent. Like, I really like this card.
Yeah, but still, like, the first skill is useless. Like, you probably won't use the flip 1 bond to get 20 attacks.
into a dragon!
Yeah, like, you don't do that. And still, like, you would rather play Noe, like, in almost any case. The second skill is decent.
Other than when you're less than 6 bonds.
The second
Yeah.
skill is actually decent because it doesn't minus your bonds. You get
Yeah.
a card
Yeah.
from your hand and you replace it, and that's amazing. That's what makes this whole card great. That fucking skill.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I personally don't like Na very much. I'm going to talk about why. So, if you compare her to Noe, the main reason you'd use her over Noe is for exactly the reason Aku said. She doesn't decrease your bond count. The thing is, Na, unlike Naui, doesn't give you access to free bonds. It's just a 1-for-1, and we all know how Control feels about flipping bonds. Why the hell would you use any cards that flip bonds? We can just funnel all that shit into Jenny. It's completely unnecessary. So, you wouldn't be running her in Control. And the issue of this, in my eyes, is that Na is basically like a strictly worse Naui in most instances.
Exactly.
Like, if you are running Na, then you would better be running Naui too. Because why the hell would you run Na if you're not running Naui? You could just take Na out and run Naui instead. And the thing about Naui is the only deck I feel like Naui has much of a place in right now is Control. You think about, like, there's 3 main types of decks in Cipher, right? Aggro, mid-range, and Control. Back in the day, Naui was used pretty frequently as a mid-range win condition. But nowadays, mid-range has taken a much more aggressive turn. Naui is too slow to be ran in most mid-range decks. Meaning that Na
So
is a card that only really has place in Control decks, but functions best in mid-range decks, in my opinion, because She's literally just a beater in control decks.
So what you're saying is she doesn't really have much of a home right now.
Exactly.
There is one home.
I think there are some there are some mid-range decks that run Naui, and in those decks you can also run Na. Like Family, for example.
Yeah.
I think there are a few other options too. There are definitely some mid-range decks that lean on the later end of things, but as of now, I think that she's a good card of good skills, just that there's not too much reason to run her in most decks. So, with that in mind, I can't give her any higher than a 3 out of 5. She has a niche.
I agree with 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5 is pretty fair. Yeah, it's pretty good for her.
Next.
Yeah, she'll get a lot better in rotation.
Yep.
Rip Dragon Emblem.
Rip Dragon Emblem, dude. Feels bad.
Thank God, actually.
Feels good. Fuck that shit.
Nah.
Yeah.
I would agree, but the issue with that is it just sucks because it's unfair to all the other colors besides blue and purple. Because blue and purple got like a shit ton of dragon emblems. Yellow and green still do not have a single dragon emblem. White and black, they only have one dragon emblem. And those colors are never going to get to catch up with blue and purple. They're never going to get any more dragon emblems, which is bullshit in my opinion. Red, good. Fuck red.
Fuck red. Yeah.
Red does not need a second dragon emblem. That is the last fucking thing that color needs. But the other colors would have really appreciated a second dragon emblem, and it's kind of sucks that they're not going to get one now. So, I can understand why you guys would be happy about this card. Yeah, fuck dragon emblem. It's a bullshit mechanic. Good to see it not in the game anymore. But it's just like a classic IS way of handling a really unhealthy mechanic. We'll just pretend it doesn't exist. And to be fair, in like 4 years from now, when all the Dragon Emblem cards get rotated out, it won't exist anymore outside of
4 years.
But that's like 4 years that blue and purple are just going to be dominating over everything else because they have access to this extremely broken mechanic that all the other colors don't have access to. I don't agree with the solution here. I think the best thing to do is just have been to own the mistake. At the very least, print some more Dragon Emblems for the other colors.
Actually... What if they do
Which
that?
Technically they could, but going off of previous precedent, it's very unlikely that they will.
Yeah, they're just gonna pretend it never existed and move on.
Exactly. I highly doubt any other color will get Dragon Emblems at this point, which is a fucking shame. It really is.
I mean,
we
green
haven't
and yellow
even.
were probably not gonna get it.
What'd you say?
Like, green and yellow probably weren't gonna get any Dragon Emblems anyways.
They could have given them Dragon Emblems.
Yeah, maybe.
You could have given Kurfnaga one a Dragon Emblem. You could have given Ina one a Dragon Emblem. And then in yellow, they could have given the descendants of Naga Dragon Emblems, like Julia, and Seliph, Deirdre.
Ina not having a Dragon Emblem isn't that bad because her other emblem is pretty decent.
Who?
Yep. Strategy Emblem, Ina.
Yeah, Strategy Emblem.
Ena.
It's probably one of the better. Yeah.
Yeah, but Nisala also has Strategy Emblem. I mean, Strategy Emblem, say what you will about it, it's alright. It doesn't fucking compare to Dragon Emblem. That shit's super
compared
broken.
to Eliwood Emblem.
Yeah, that too. Eliwood Emblem is also not color restricted.
Eliwood Emblem was an honest mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eliwood Emblem was a fucking mistake. We haven't even talked about this card itself. We just talked about Dragon Emblem not being a thing anymore.
-2 out of 10.
So it got replaced with
It's
Dragon
a
Blood
50
Emblem, which is
manatee.
basically just a vanilla emblem that's never going to activate. If you have fewer bonds than your opponent, you can place one card in your hands in your bonds. First of all, if you have fewer bonds with your opponent, unless your opponent is playing fucking Arvis 5, chances are you skipped a bond phase, which means you have no interest in accelerating your bonds. So, yeah.
Counters
Yeah,
Dragon
it counters Dragon Emblem. The problem is are you really going to allocate deck space to a card that you literally have like an RNG % chance of getting to counter Dragon Emblem? And keep in mind, you could also just run Dragon Emblem instead. So,
Or if you hate Dragon Emblem that bad, you run Shade or Renault 1.
if you really want to fuck Dragon Emblem, play like Void
the
MC.
whole part about allocating space for an RNG card doesn't really work because there are some people that allocate an entire deck for RNG.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, yeah, but that's at the very least, that's indiscriminate RNG that kills any MC. This is RNG that you... Not only is it RNG, you also need to activate it against specific fucking MCs. You know damn well, you run this card, you're gonna get it against all of the decks that don't Bond Excel. And then when you do run it against the decks that Bond Excel, you're never gonna fucking get it. That's just the nature of these types of cards if they're, like, super RNG based like that. Obviously, that's not always gonna happen that way. But it's bound to happen like that a lot of the time. Which is why it's just, like, such a deterrent from actually running the card.
So, we give this a 1, right? Because it's horrible.
Yeah, there's no real reason to run this card. The text itself,
I don't know.
The skills, I'm pretty sure the original Nom one is better than this. Pretty sure all of the Manicheats are, Tiki 1 is better if it survives. It becomes 70. Naui 1 is definitely better than this.
Yeah.
Naui 1
and
is
the
like
old Nah number 1
an overstated
also has
piece of shit.
A Dragon Emblem, which, you know,
yeah.
pretty good.
Better than Dragon Blood Emblem.
Yeah.
I don't even know what this card does. During your turn, it's a vanilla beater.
It's vanilla.
Vanilla beater.
You're spending your turn for it to get a vanilla beater. No
if your opponent has a 5 cost or higher,
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is
and your opponent has to have a cost 5 or higher. I'm giving this a hard 1 out of 5.
You know, the worst part isn't even that this is a 4-cost vanilla 90. It's a 4-cost vanilla 90 against only cost 5s. It doesn't even have any unavoidable. It's incredibly horrible.
It's not only against cost 5s. It's if your opponent controls a cost 5, then it gets plus 30. So if your opponent has a cost 5, then you could, like, attack something that isn't the cost 5 and you're still in
Dude, if they have a cost 5, are you not attacking the cost 5?
Yeah, that's a good fucking point. And even then, it's still a vanilla beater that doesn't do anything. Yeah.
Dude, one day we'll have a card that increases deploy cost of all opponents, and then we'll play anti-5 cost.
We play Goto!
Yeah.
God damn it.
Alright.
There we go.
Here we go.
Aki's favorite card.
This is actually something to talk about.
There we go.
Alright.
Do you want to start about that, Aku, or Warren?
Let me know. I don't do that. It's the Barnes video. He does the intro.
There you go, T1.
Okay, so basically this guy's gimmick is that he can give a female ally plus 20 and unavoidable against non-MC. Technically he has to tap to do it, but because of his second skill, which says that when the unit you buffed hits, you can untap this unit exists, he basically doesn't have to tap. Because unless your opponent only has MC, it's unavoidable, they're gonna hit. So Inigo's gonna untap. So the main...
This is not once per turn, by the way.
Yes, this is not once per turn. You can use all of these skills multiple times over the course of one turn, although that's kind of venturing into the territory of memes, to be perfectly honest. I feel
Honestly, it's not even as much of a meme, but like... Let's say your opponent is playing a deck that frontline a bunch of shit.
Yeah, if your opponent has a deck that has like a shit ton of units, it might have situational use, but... I think... definitely, like, the strongest interaction that exists for this Inigo is you play it with Julia 4-3.
Or with 55.
Julia 4-3 is better because 1-2 range and it comes out on turn 4. So she gives you basically a free Bond Excel with Inigo because if she hits, you flip 1, you grab a cell of 5 from your deck, you bond it, you unflip the card that you flipped for Julia, so you just get an extra free bond for no cost. In case Tiki MC isn't an indication of this, free Bond Excel is really fucking good. Inigo has access to that thanks to his interaction with Julia. What's it called? Just in general, Bond Excel, obviously, as we know, whether it be in the form of Dragon Emblem, or in the form of Tiki 2, or in the form of Gregor, or in the form of this interaction of Inigo and Julia. It's a bit of a silver bullet. Being able to get turn 5 overclass is really strong. Really puts you ahead of the game.
Yeah, and considering Inigo's, what set was it? Was it set 1 that had
the set 1.
Yes, that's another thing.
One.
The great one.
That's worth
That
noting
makes
about
this card
Inigo
even
MC.
better because let's assume you're playing against a aggressive deck. your 3-2 takes allows you to completely forget about running anti-aggro because that card is gonna fuck aggro in the ass by itself.
That card's basically like an 80 base. Is it?
90
Yeah,
rating.
it's a 90 base, dude. Get fucked, Walhart. Get fucked.
Said one OP.
Yeah. Get out of here, Walhart. Loser.
But yeah. Like the main thing with... Yep.
So yeah, if
If
you're playing aggro and you're playing against Inigo, good luck. That's all I have to say. For you.
Just unplug the controller. Just unplug
Just
the controller.
pick up your cards. Just pick up your cards. You will not win.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this card as MC is quite solid. I think he struggles against upper control decks, but I think he thrives fairly well against mid-range. Promotes turn 3 so he doesn't get fucked up too hard by pressure turn 4 deploys. In fact, he thrives off of them because he can counter them with the Julia deploy. And obviously, as we mentioned earlier, he's great against aggro with his old bridge. I think this MC's main issue is just consistency. I think that if you don't get your Julia, you're kind of vanilla. Of course, that's build dependent. These guys will talk about some other builds they've come up with. I'm mostly talking about just like a control-oriented build where you run Inigo, Julia, and then you run a bunch of overclass Jenny and
Which is
Delphia,
honestly which is probably the best build that Inigo can pull off. Mostly because it very reliably beats aggro because they will try to hit your cost 1 and you have your cost 2, which allows you to smooth sail through them. But the biggest thing that this thing has is that it goes really well against mid-range because of the unavoidable. You can always ensure that they will not have a field going into the follow-up. Which, I mean, having a 70 base kind of hurts against mid-range because mid-range is hitting 70 bases nowadays pretty often. But the fact that you can ensure they're not going to have a field going into the next turn while you're doing your Genny stuff, because now you don't get screwed over by a May evade. You get rid of the May, because Genny is unavoidable, and you get a bunch of cards. It's incredible.
Yeah.
You cut, destruction from control, which is really nice, because he is basically destruction.
He's a very reactive MC. They put something on the board, and then you answer it, and you keep grabbing value until...
Yeah, on a side note, though, I really like just this card from an aesthetic perspective. Yarne is great. You can never go wrong with Windows background. Then the skills, they have nice names. A bouquet for you and a smile for me. Oh.
I'm surprised he didn't use his plus art where he actually has the bouquet.
Yeah, I mentioned this earlier with Cordelia and Severa. I only used the normal arts for all of these slides, even though I do like some of the plus arts more than the normal arts for this set. Yeah, Inigo's pretty cool. It's him and Gawain are in contention for the best MC of this set. Definitely a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I'd say Gawain is much better than Inigo, because I still think Inigo is, even though he's good, there are some decks that are still like a bit of a better version of himself. So I can see how he's really good.
Honestly, I think Inigo has a better matchup spread than Gawain overall, but I think that Gawain does stuff that no other MC can do. He has the best Marth matchup in the game, in my opinion, which is pretty huge for obvious reasons. So, while Inigo has a better overall matchup spread than Gawain, obviously that doesn't make him better than Gawain immediately, because there are other decks that have similar matchup spreads to Inigo. Meanwhile, Gawain's matchup spread is extremely unique and very valuable in the current meta. We'll talk about Gawain later when we get to him, though. For now, definitely a 4 out of 5 stars. This card's a great MC.
Before we leave Inigo, I kind of want to point out that even though it's not really run in the best build that he has, you can use set 1 Cordelia 3-2, the one with Gale Force, alongside it.
And then Inigo untaps every time she untaps.
I didn't think about that, actually.
Oh my god.
That's actually interesting.
She becomes a 3-cost 70 beater
awful.
that after she kills something, she becomes a 3-cost 90 beater. It's great for clearing front lines.
Yeah, so I was mostly talking about a control-oriented build of Inigo, but I think Inigo does definitely have some more a potential to be a more aggressive MC, because every time the girl he buffs untaps, Inigo also untaps, or not untaps. Every time the girl hits, Inigo untaps. So if you have a way of untapping the girl, then that basically translates to a double untap, because basically every time you untap the girl, Inigo also untaps. So, Gale Force Cordelia would be a really good option. You can run lots of ways to untap the girl.
Lynn.
Yeah, like Lynn Shannon is something people are considering, using those Shannon untaps. And yeah. I haven't really explored the possibilities of aggressive Inigo too much, though, because I just feel like it's too inconsistent, kind of memey, but I know these guys have.
I got
so
perfect.
if you guys want to talk about aggressive Inigo, by all means, go ahead.
Nah, I just wanted to bring out the Cordelia thing because it's great.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next card then.
They gave Inigo a new bridge. It'll be decent in rotation. But
Nah, it's a bridge.
yeah, it's
That's
just a bridge. Right now, it's terrible for obvious reasons. Inigo has one of the best bridge promos in the game. Used to be a standalone main promo, just to give you an idea of how good of a bridge it is. So this guy's pretty unnecessary. If you're not afraid of 10 supports, you can probably run both him and the old Inigo bridge, but honestly I wouldn't. I just run the old one and then 1 costs. You want to avoid 10 supports, because Inigo's 1 costs, like this one, have attack emblem. Does this do anything?
Nah, I mean,
really.
It's better than
it's for each backline female, so you can potentially, if you have a big enough female backline, you can boost this thing to like 70 base.
Backline female makes it not very good for like aggressive. I guess it'd be a decent, like if you're playing mid-range Inigo. If you're playing mid-range Inigo, you play a bunch of female mages on the backline, and then like if they like have a bridge, or if you're playing Marth and they get their Alice, you have a way around it. As far as control is concerned, you don't care about hitting them early. So
Yeah, it's pretty vanilla, but hey, it has V potential.
It would have been cool if it was during both turns, but
no.
yeah, that might
That
actually have been
kinda
too good.
busted for a cost
that
one, dude.
That would have been too good. You're right. Like Alice and Marth, just like turn 250 base is fucking stupid. And you can do that with literally any female unit with this.
You
card.
do realize Inigo could be a turn to 60 on a cost one.
If you deploy 2 female units,
Yeah,
that'd be
stupid.
ridiculous. You're right. What are Inigo's other 1 costs? I don't actually know.
While you
has
control
the
a female ally, gain plus 10 attack.
during your turn only. Like, it doesn't have to be backline though.
So it's just a different variation of this card.
Yeah, it's a different variation of the same thing, but the old one doesn't stack. This one stacks.
Yeah.
Alright. Let's next.
Kind of
What's
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Batman.
Zero.
It's Batman.
It's a 70 base.
That's,
This card's about as viable as the old Gerome. Not very, in my opinion.
I mean, it's much
the
worse
old
than the
Gerome
old
at
one.
least had Axe Breaker. This one doesn't even have
This
Axe
one
Breaker.
doesn't have to class change in order to get 1 to 2 range, which is honestly pretty nice. I'm not a fan of either.
I mean, why would you play this over a mage?
Why would you play old Gerome over a mage?
why'd you play Gerome?
I mean, Swordbreaker at least had some sort of niche.
Well, I mean, this can also get 70.
Yeah, but Swordbreaker put him at 80. It was plus 20. It
What
was
if
like,
you're playing against a non-sword MC? Then this guy can still hit, and old Gerome can't.
Whoa, we're talking about comparing Gerome.
1 out of 5. Alright, this
yeah,
is
it's horrible. Ooh,
What is about it?
That's a spicy card.
I think
It's-
it's like that.
it's something. I don't know how I feel about this card.
Bear in mind that if May Seraphims this, she draws a card.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah,
May
yeah.
probably will Seraphim this because it's a 100 attack, so you don't want to be like wasting crits on this thing. It's literally
the
just a
big-
100 meter. That's all it is.
Yeah, the big issue with this thing. Wait, that thing is holding a lance.
Yes.
Yeah,
What?
it's
Yeah,
a brave lance.
He's a
actually.
soldier. That's his class.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's nice that it's a 100 base monster, but why is it a 4-drop?
Yeah. I mean,
If this was a 3-drop, oh
if he
my
was a
god.
3-drop, I don't think it would be that much better. If it was a 2-drop,
Yeah.
that'd be fucking stupid, but
I mean,
Nah,
it's-
grab up
it's
by
not-
Leon, dude.
oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel
That's
like
right.
Risen Commander's still a better target than this guy for Leon because you get to fill your board with a low cost Risen if you grab Risen Commander.
Yeah. You know, this card's name should have been
All in all,
Risen,
if you compare
not Risen Chief.
If you compare this card to Risen Commander, like, what is the fucking point, to be honest? Actually, I think the other Risen Commander is actually just called Risen Chief, too. It's just two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
both of them are
Yeah.
Risen Chief.
Yeah.
They are
Yeah.
the same.
You can have both of them out. Woo!
I'm not a fan. This guy's pretty vanilla, in my opinion. I think the other
He's
Risen
funny.
Chief's a lot better. He does have funny art. What's up, Jared? How's it going, dude?
Shout out to my boy.
Shout out to Jared.
Shout out.
Alright, what's next?
Yeah, 1 out of 5.
Yeah.
Yep.
More
Flying Risen.
Flying Risen. Mage Risen.
Mage.
Staff
Oh.
Risen.
God, I just now realized that the Mage Risen is a Dark Mage.
Yep.
Why are there undead tits?
Yeah, she looking pretty fine for a fucking
Something necrophilia. This is next. Get me out.
Let's move on.
I
let's
mean, we
move
should
on.
talk about this at least.
Yeah.
Support
Yeah.
for Crombie. Basically, you can get this on your board. It's 1 to 2 range.
Probably
It
like
gains
one,
plus
runner,
7.
1 or 2.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
basically the niche. You can buff it with Crombie, and it's 1 to 2 range, 70 base Risen.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
and
run
that's-
more than 1 or 2 because compared to other Risen like this one, it doesn't have the Despair Emblem, which kind of sucks. If you're playing like Grima MC, you just straight up wouldn't run this card at all because
I mean,
Your Risen aren't really
really
supposed
want the Despair Emblem in Grima. You're
Yeah.
not buffing this, so 1 to 2 range doesn't really mean anything in Grima. Yeah. Mage is fairly whatever.
Honestly, the
Flyer-
Despair Emblem,
the
the
flight is
Despair
just worse.
like, the only reason you play Despair Emblem different Despair Emblem Risen is because you pick which one you like the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
it's a flyer. It's like whatever. What
Yeah.
is there to really say about this card?
Like flying is even
it's
worse
actually
because you get
no
to-
different from the other Risen we already have.
There's
except it has
actually
flying
one
affinity.
thing that makes this Risen work. Because,
both.
because you know the Virion Mirage, he can destroy your whole field of flying Risen.
Oh my god.
That's pretty funny.
That is so dumb.
And the
And the healer is
Staff Risen is situationally useful in Crombie as well. If you ever find the need to heal something, you can quickly grab. Is like the Mage and Staff Risen. I feel like kind of just like give Crombie some toolbox options. You like run 1 or 2
Yeah.
of both. And if you need the 1 to 2 range, you can grab the Mage one. If you need the emergency healing, you can grab the Staff one. You wouldn't run them in Grima because no Despair Emblem. But yeah. It's tap and flip 2 to heal, but you can only heal a monster unit, so it's pretty whatever. It's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Alright, now this is something interesting. Now this
Yeah.
is
The Leal! Mightiest pawn of the Leal.
Seals? Is that the name of the
Yes!
yes.
Yeah.
Seal.
Try saying that 5 times fast.
It's
No.
probably not that hard. Seals.
You cheater. You messed up with seals. You
Alright.
messed up with seals.
I mean, the wide majority of these skills don't matter. The only one that matters, the one that matters the most is the last one. Enemy
Yeah,
units,
seals,
except for
yes.
the main character, are unable to class change. That means, as long as this little fucker is here, your opponent cannot overclass their Deltea or Gani or anything.
They
It's
also
incredible.
can't do Itsuki turns because
Yeah.
I can't believe
This
Chrom's
thing is-
dead.
Yeah, this thing is a giant cockblock to so many decks. It's a great card because of that last skill. If it didn't have that last skill, it would suck.
Yep. It's a soul buff.
Personally, I'm not that big of a fan of using this to block overclass. I think this card does have other uses, and we'll get into them later, but I think that This card as a means to block Overclass is kind of whatever, because you think about Delthea, part of the reason why she's so popular is because this game is filled with 2-card combos, like Delthea. That's part of the reason why Delthea is one of the best Delthea counters, because if you Delthea them, you're likely to discard one of the Deltheas from their hand. So that's like the whole point of Delthea Racer. So I'd rather play Delthea to counter Overclass than this card, because, you know, it's fucking Delthea. You completely destroy their hand. And if you're doing that, you might as well just run Bond Excel instead of this card to help you get Delthea out faster and then prevent Overclasses that way. I suppose if you have a lot of room, you could run Bond Acceleration, Delthea, and this, but in a normal deck, I don't think I would run this before I just run, like, Tiki 2 or Dragon Emblem or Gregor or whatever.
So here's my take on this thing. It's not really too easy to fit on every deck, and it's by no means a counter to Overclass. No, it doesn't counter Overclass. They're just gonna, if they're playing Delthea Overclass, they're just gonna remove this and play it the next turn. I just think it's nice that it buys you another turn. Buying you another turn is usually enough for you to Delthea their Delthea.
Bear in mind, speaking of cards that can buy us other turns, we also have this fucker. We'll get into him later, but he's a lot. He does that a lot better than Morgan.
Yeah, I agree that he does that a lot better than let's just call it Morgie, because, you know, everyone knows it's Morgan, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
No, it's what? What? Thanks, Google Translate.
the whole thing with this is that the reason I like it a bit more than Leo, first of all, it's blue. You know, it's in general a better color as a splash, and it's a 3-drop, so Leo is nice and all, but he's a 5-drop. Overclasses come out on turn 6, or if they excel, on turn 5. You know, you see how tight the window is to play Leo to, you know...
I don't think it's that tight. You just play Leo the turn before they Overclass, which is the same turn you'd be playing this card, too.
Yeah. But Leo requires them to already have a mage on the field to do his thing.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah. This
there
is
are
just
some situations where this is better than Leo, but I think in
the
vast majority of situations, Leo is better than this card. And that's like my biggest gripe with this card. Like, sure, it can be used, but you could be playing Dragon Emblem instead. You could be playing Tiki instead. You could be playing Leo instead. I feel like there's just a lot of options that are better than this card.
Yeah.
I'm
speaking from the viewpoint of someone who has played a lot of Inigo. And honestly, Inigo can fit this card, and it does work really well in it. So that's where all of my bias towards this comes from.
I mean, at the same vein, though, you can also just Delthea them turn 5 of Inigo. You can do that really
can
easily.
just Delthea them, but let's assume they excelled and like, oh, I don't want to get Delthea now, because they get their Delthea before I can get mine, because, you know, they went first and they got their Excel, but I also got my Excel.
That means that you're playing this instead of Julia on turn 4, which is... I don't know how I feel about that.
I'll say that it's a nice tech option in Cordelia.
I will, yes, that is one of the 2 decks that I do like this card a lot in.
Yeah.
Cordelia, because you can grab it with Hinoka. You just run like 2 copies of her if you want to fuck over Overclass.
It's also extremely disruptive to Itsuki, which is sad.
Yeah, there's a bunch of other decks that it fucks over besides Overclass, but primarily Overclass is the main thing that it screws over.
Yeah.
The second deck that I think this card's really good in is probably like the biggest use it will have in is Soth. Soth is actually a card that people like never really play as MC anymore. So, for those of you who don't know what Soth does, turn 370 promo. His skill, you can flip 2 when your opponent deploys a unit to destroy it. You destroy it instantly when it is deployed. So, flip 2 to destroy a unit is generally considered rather inefficient, but in the case of Soth, it's actually, that cost is pricey for destroying a unit. You get the added benefit of being able to destroy that unit before it has a chance to do anything, which is obviously really strong.
Unless they have an on-deploy effect, because that goes off first.
Yeah.
Dumb rulers.
But most decks like don't have on deploy turns, so you can basically just eat up decks entire turns. Like you're playing against Marth. All right, I'm gonna play May turn 4. No, you're not. Bane. May's dead. The thing is, there's a workaround to Soth, and that's Clash Change. If you deploy May 1, they have to either bane the May 1, in which case they can still use the rest of their bonds to deploy whatever the fuck they want, or they leave the May 1 on board, and then they just Clash Change into May 4. And Clash Change is not deploy, so you can't bane a Clash Change. And the reason my Soth has really fallen off is because Overclass, being as big as it is, just completely screws over Soth. Not having a way to counter Overclass, which is like the strongest plays in the game right now, basically kind of eliminates the whole purpose of playing Soth. That and being his Soth's 1 cost being a 30 base 1 range. We talked at length about how 30 base 1 to 2 range is really bad. Soth is a 30 base 1 range. He has among the worst 1 costs in the game. It's right up there with shit like Lissa 1 and Sonaki 1. But yeah, so Morgan could actually be a game changer for Soth, because Morgan's ability to prevent your opponent from clash changing is absolutely huge. Because Soth, being Soth, also means that it's difficult for your opponent to clear Morgan. What are you going to do? Play field control? Bane it.
You have to play Rowan. Exactly.
Yeah, unless you're playing Rowan, if you play field control, bane it. You can't control field. You can't kill Morgan. You can try and clash change to get a field control out, except no, you can't, because Morgan prevents you from doing that. So I think Morgan has potential to be really strong, and so it could potentially be what Soth needs to get back into the game. Honestly, I hope that's not the case. I kind of fucking hate Soth, but Soth does still have a lot of fundamental issues that will likely prevent him from seeing that much play. The 1 cost is still a huge issue, and he still has... There's a lot that can go wrong with his strategy. Like, if you don't draw Morgan, you still get fucked up just by your opponent clash changing. And you need to get both Morgan and Deirdre so you can continue to Bane. If you don't get Deirdre, you'll run out of bonds to Bane your opponent with.
You're also in green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you have Ileana now, but...
Uh-huh.
I mean,
You're not going to be playing that, though. You're not playing Ileana
you're
in
not.
Soth. Think about, like, Ileana clears the board. That's not needed in Soth. And she flips 2 to draw 2. You don't have the fucking bonds for that in Soth. So, yeah. You'd probably be running, like, Leanne, too.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I give this card a 3 out of 5. It certainly has some use. I don't think it's that amazing, though.
I wanna give it like a 3 out of 5, but like a 3.5 mostly.
Yeah.
Yes. A lot of
I was gonna say
potential.
4.
I don't wanna say it's a 4 yet, because Tomato fucker still has to show up. But this is
Leo.
yeah.
Tomato.
For a
This
second,
is
I
pretty
thought you were
good.
talking about the fucking OJ character.
Oh my
Oh.
god, no.
Yeah, if you
Alright,
guys have
you
any
can-
closing words about Morgan, you can say them right now. I'll be back in a minute. But yeah, 3 out of 5
Thank
Splash. You wouldn't run her as MC.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, you can always just try to cost 1 and make this a 70.
Yeah, you're not doing that ever.
No,
mean-
you are. In, like,
You are?
Ninja
Some-
Marth, if you want to.
Sometimes
you-
if you're going for the throat, if you're gonna go for a finishing turn, you can pop one of your 1 costs to make this a 70. I mean, it's decent for that, but really, outside of that, you're not using anything besides seals.
Yeah. Why is it called Seal? I don't understand.
Because words.
Oh my god.
Alright, I'm back.
Are you back?
Yep.
Alright, Divine.
Let's continue. Kokusho has a boner for this card.
No! This guy! He didn't get a 1 cost!
He
I
wanted
was
to
gonna
MC
play
him so badly.
Yeah, dude, Ninja Validar.
Oh my lord.
So
Wait,
basically,
I'm surprised you haven't tried playing this guy as MC with ninjas.
He's a 5 cost that doesn't draw you a card when you class change into it.
But you can play the for.
You could play M. Robin MC with him as a final promo.
Ah, that's so bad. You know how good turn 5 promos are if they aren't Mammoy.
I
Literally.
mean, Robin could have a game plan before turn 5. He might be able to do shit. Alright, let's talk about Validar.
It's a bad card.
We can't give him a rating
Power
as
creep
MC.
card in the same, and then it got power creeped by.
Yeah, this card was released, you're like, damn, this card's fucking good. Then this card got released and we're like, lol. Fucking, he can destroy 2 units. They have to be 1 or lower. Unlike this guy, he can just get rid of whoever he wants. He has to destroy 2 1 or cost or lower.
We're gonna be talking about that guy a lot.
Yeah.
He's definitely a big point of contention here in this set. But Validar destroys 2 cost 1 or lower allies to destroy 1 enemy unit. So this dude does the same except for only 1. So
Yeah.
there's not too much reason to use this guy over him. The only exception would be in like Chromby, because this guy, any unit targeted with this skill, both ally and enemy units are sent to the Void, or the Boundless Zone, or the Mugen, or the Infinite Zone, whatever the fuck you want to call it. They don't get sent to Graveyard, so Chromby can't get them back with his skill, but with Validar, the Risen do get sent to the grave, so you can get them back with Validar if you're using Validar and Chromby. The other potential reason why you might play Validar over Grima is for its skill, his first skill, which is ironically called Grima's Truth. I know that's just the name of his weapon in Awakening, but still, you flip 3 bonds to discard 2 cards from your opponent's hand.
Grima's Truth. Run Grima over this.
Yeah, Grima's Truth. His card is worse than Grima. But yeah, this skill's not very good. Originally, the meme was like using him in Hugmarth, and if they don't discard, they lose an orb. You go down to 0, and then you give him the hug, give him a good old smooch.
And then you do that, and then discard Robin 1.
But yeah, the first skill is just super inefficient. I think inefficient is just generally a very good way to describe Validar. You're discarding 2 units to destroy 1 of your opponents, when you could be playing Grima and just discarding or bounding 1 of your units to get rid of 1 of your opponent's units. Grima's Truth, you're flipping 3 to discard 2 from your opponent's hand. You could be playing Tharja instead, which is flip 3 to discard 3. I guess Tharja has to discard a Tharja from her hand as well, but still, I mean, like, fuck it.
And
you
Tharja
could
can
be
only
just
discard
fucking...
3 if he's change. So, yeah. If he discards 2.
Yeah, but I mean, like, still, fucking, like, Delphia exists. Why would you use
You
Yeah.
got a 1 cost. I would play him.
But
I
then
think
flip
the
3 to
biggest-
destroy your opponent's MC is also not worth. It's basically a 3 for 1, unless you're at 0 orbs.
Honestly, I think the big problem with this card is that it can destroy their opponent.
Yeah, if it was just of your opponent discards 2 cards, it might actually be a lot better.
Yeah, but like, destroy their opponent. I can discard 2 cards, or I can draw 1 card.
Yeah. Like, flip 3 to destroy your opponent's MC is just so not worth unless you're at 0 orbs. It basically makes the skill read you can only use this if your opponent's at 0 orbs, or if they're at like 1 and you're playing Hugmarth or an unavoidable or some shit. But why the fuck would you play this in an unavoidable MC?
I mean, if you're playing this on an avoidable MC, they're probably evading already. It's such a bad card.
I'll give him barely a 3 out of 5, just on the fact that you can use him in Chromby, but that might honestly be a bit too generous.
Dude, currently 2 out of 5, future 3 out of 5. When we get that
Future,
1 cost,
10 out of 5 is MC, because we cannot give him a rating as MC. Rating as MC is N/A, not applicable. Alrighty, the big Cajone, Grima, the Dragon of Despair and Ruin.
400 yen.
Yeah.
You know,
This guy gets released for like, this is the best card of the set. Big
let me
Web
tell
disagree.
you guys a little story about Grima. Once upon a time, there was a dragon called Grima, who was really, really upset with how Cipher existed. So she first came up as a girl who ruined Cipher card for ages on ages on ages. And then, after a while, she fell off. Noticing that Cipher still hadn't died from all her reign of terror, she decided to become a boy and come back to ruin it again.
Yay.
Yeah, that's fairly accurate. So, yeah, this card's fucking insane. The second skill is just a giant fuck you to control. I don't think it people are acting like this card is the end of control. I don't think it fucks control that hard. I'm pretty sure control can still fight this card, but it certainly does. It certainly isn't doing the archetype any favors. That's for sure. Banish all of okay, Elise is dead. Elise is literally dead because of this card. Elise is no longer an MC.
I know Ira hasn't been alive for a while, but this is just the last couple of thirds.
Fucking rip Ira, dude.
Ooh, you like 5 Iras in your deck? Yeah, me too.
I think Tiki has the least trouble with this card. I think Nana also has little trouble with this card. Any MC that has like a lot of bondage cell that can get the Jenny out before this guy comes out does well against him, because then you can just grab all the MCs out of your retreat and then.
I disagree with you on one thing. Nana doesn't have much of a problem with him regarding the second skill, but the third skill, considering how big the stacks that Nana makes,
that's true. Ooh. Yeah, Nana gets fucked up by the third skill, so...
Yeah.
The third skill is basically the main reason why people are considering running him. You run him with ninjas or risen or whatever, disposable units, and then you get rid of those units, and then your opponent loses a money mage. That's fair, right? Not only that, but you're not sending these units to retreat, you're sending them to the void, so your opponent will never get them back. And the point Aku made about Nana with Overclass is important, because with Overclass, especially in a deck like Nana, you say, like, Jenny, you're overclassing Jenny multiple times throughout the course of the game. And if your opponent decides to leave the Jenny on board, then that's going to result in Jenny growing a pretty large stack. You're going to get a stack of, like, 4 or 5 Jenny. If you overclass Jenny 4 times, then you have 4 Jenny 4 in the stack, and then Grima comes down and sends all 4 of your overclass Jenny to the boundless zone in one fell swoop. And yeah, you are literally never Jenny overclassing again for the rest of the game. So yeah.
Wow. I mean, if this ever happens to you, that's probably your fault, because it didn't fucking win with a 4 stack of Jenny.
That's true. That's true, but still, lowering the overclass pool is actually pretty relevant, because your retreat's going into your deck a lot, and then you gotta get those overclass copies in your retreat again. If you only have 2 of them in your pool, it greatly decreases your chances of actually getting them in your retreat, as opposed to if you have the full 4. God forbid you were using overclass pieces as bond fodder earlier on in the game, too. But yeah, I think this card actually fucks over tempo even more than it fucks over control.
Yeah, if you have enough like small units on the board,
yeah, you can
just gut by your board.
Yeah, because tempo's all about building that big ass board. And with Grima, you can just get rid of your entire board. Itsuki, known well for his God curve, where he gets like 5 units on board, and your opponent can't clear them all on the next turn. Well, Grima, you should play that. Banish like 3 banish 3 ninjas, clear 3 of their units, and then just attack the other 2.
I think the name of the third kill is way too accurate.
Ruinous Punishment.
Punishment.
Yeah. Cordelia? Oh, That's a nice anti-destruction skill your Hinoka has there. Too bad I banish, I don't destroy. Fuck your field. It's gone now.
Anti-destruction didn't even have enough time to be a thing. Why
Yeah,
are you
then Grima just fucking ended it. Yeah. This thing is fucking crazy though. Even not like looking at matchups where it's specifically good in like tempo and control. Like just its ability to be a 70 base 1 to 2 range, which by itself is fucking good in other mid-range matchups, and then you just banish one of their shit essentially for free. If you're using ninja emblems, his banish skill is essentially free. If you banish Asugi, Asugi enters the board for free with ninja emblem. If you banish the Saizo or a Kagero, that's a 2-for-1, so if you banish 2 of them, you're gaining a net gain of +1. And you're fucking over your opponent's tempo. Yeah, this card's insane.
And you can attack face.
Yes, and you can attack face.
Honestly,
did I mention 71 to 2 range yet? Because,
Oh
like,
my god.
why? Just
Why did they
fucking
crit
why?
five?
Backline threat that needs to be answered. If not, it's going to continue punching you in the face. This card's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Honestly, this card deserves a 5 out of 5, even if it has a 0 support. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Even if it has 0 support on Big Web with its 400 yen price tag, I give this card a 5 out of 5 a splash. This card's absolutely fucking absurd.
Like it does so much. Why is the skill not once per turn?
Yeah, why the fuck isn't the third skill once per turn? It might have some semblance of balance. It'd still be good as shit if it was once per turn, but it not being once per turn is just like an added fuck you to tempo decks.
Like I said, it came back to fuck Cipher because it wasn't fucked enough.
Yeah. Female Grima was not pleased with its work. Yeah, this card's fucking crazy. Finding a home for it will be a bit of a challenge, but given how powerful this card is, I don't think that it'll take too long for it to find a home.
Yeah.
Despite
Marth
the
has
amount
tried it.
Yeah.
It's like okay. It's
Yeah.
okay in Marth. Marth has a little problem, but in Mamoy,
You run
Oh
ninjas
my
and
God.
Mamu.
God.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
it's actually crazy. You proc
remember-
Mamoy 4/3 skill.
And Mamui actually does have a lot of good blue cards to run. We were talking
Yeah.
about this guy. He's really good if you can
Yeah.
buff your field. What does Mamui do? That's fucking
Buff
right.
your
He
field.
buffs your field. So, yeah, fucking monk ass. Mamui might actually be tier 1 this set. Not for the reasons we thought he was going to be tier 1 because of like a...
Dragon
because
Blood.
of
We're not-
Torpedo
we're not-
Puck.
Dragon
Yeah.
Blood lol.
Yeah, not because of whatever the fuck this shit is, but because of this absolute monstrosity. 5 out of 5. Not too much else
Yeah.
to say here. Just an absolutely crazy card. Bit difficult to slip into decks, but in the decks that you hold working, it's just going to completely change the face of the game.
Shibard, you fucked up.
Am I cutting out?
No, I just noticed it in your PowerPoint.
Yes, I
tab.
have 2 Itsuki 4-3.
Yeah.
Whatever. This one cost is such a piece of shit. Who even cares?
By the way, the Grima SMC.
Yeah.
Any comments about that? I mean,
that's a 5 though.
Yeah, that is a hard
Yeah.
five
It's a
drop.
yeah.
That
I don't know.
minuses you.
It might be a decent backup promo for M-Rob, but I feel like you'd probably rather just deploy it if you're running it in M-Rob and then run it as a
Honestly,
grenade.
I think like you just play this in regular Grima for more evades.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. You don't play this as the MC. Like you don't.
Yeah. I suppose in the context of regular Grima, this actually is a pretty big buff, because...
Actually, there might be
Regular
some
Grima.
variety in one thing. Like
There we go.
Okay.
More editing work, yay. Okay, so Grima as MC, this actually is a pretty big buff to female Grima MC, because that was probably female Grima's biggest weakness, only having three dodges after you promote into her, but now she has 7, which is huge. It's gonna reduce her ability to get cheesed very substantially. So I think that female Grima MC could actually see a pretty big boost in viability because of this card. And in that context, I almost feel like this card's worthy of like definitely a 3-star.
oh yeah,
at least as MC, maybe even 4-star, depending on how good female Grima becomes. But you never actually class change into him. He's literally just there for major dodges.
Simmer, there's another card in this set that we might bring female Grima up on. Yes, there is one.
Oh, fuck.
We'll get to it later.
We won't want to spoil the surprise.
Yes.
Rip TMS. They got 5 cards, no SRs. Thankless laborer indeed. IS was not thanking TMS this set. That skill name just makes too much sense, to be honest.
It's a good card. It's a good card. Yeah. Boost the consistency of Itsuki.
I'll give him a 4 out of 5.
I give him a 4 out of 5.
It's definitely taking a hit this set thanks to this fucker and Ileana. We'll get to her later. Ileana also similarly fucks tempo decks like Itsuki, but he's alright. He's like, in the context of Itsuki MC, his old 4-3 was basically vanilla. This card is not vanilla, so by default, it's automatically like somewhat of an upgrade. But it just increases your consistency and enables you to do more combos. You don't need to worry about missing your Mirage Chrom now. You can just deploy it from your retreat and then use it as the base for your Exalt Chrom. Have him ready there for your combo turn. He does make you a bit more bond heavy, which is a potential concern, but all in all, he's fine. He's basically like a quality of life buff, I feel like. He's not anything crazy, but he's alright.
Yeah.
4 out of 5. Just in the context of Itsuki, as an already established MC, being a very solid MC. I fucked up and I grabbed the wrong art, so we have another image of Itsuki 4-3.
Another quality of a life buff. Now you're 1-2. Now you're 50 base.
Yeah, you basically just become a 50 base 1 cost, which is nice.
So if you miss 3-2, you miss 3-2, then good for you.
Even if you don't miss 3-2, being 50 base on turn 1 is nice. Because
3-2 is almost your main promo. You don't want to miss 3-2.
No, I wouldn't deploy the thing.
That's true. You want to use it for your 3-2.
Yeah, just Fatal Sword. Or whatever it's called, Shadow of the Mirages.
Shadow of the Mirages. Fatal Sword is the Dragon Kill thing. That's only relevant.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh well, whatever. Next.
So the Mirages were just like a huge waste of potential in my opinion. For some reason they made them 4-3s, and like, they're super, like, bad.
Wow. A 0 attack 4-drop.
So, yeah. You never want to be deploying these guys from your hand. The only time you want to be deploying them is through this guy's skill or through 3-2 Itsuki's skill, because 3-2 Itsuki can discard this guy from your hand and then deploy it by discarding him. Yeah. They're fine. 1 cost is better. 1 cost is more versatile. You can deploy it directly from your hand if you need to. You can get it off of a support emblem. These guys, they're nice to have as options. It makes Itsuki a bit more...
Yeah, you run like 2.
Which is nice. Yeah, I'd run 2 of this guy. I don't know how I feel about this guy. I don't know if I'd run him, but he's nice. He gives you pull. Since you're not running ST Itsuki anymore, you don't actually have any pull anymore. Pull isn't exactly something that's too useful for Itsuki, but, you know, it's situationally useful.
Yeah, especially because Itsuki now runs Destruction instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could run Julia
It's
in
been a long
Itsuki.
time since we started doing Itsuki.
Yeah.
I gotta flip 2 to Excel 1.
It's flip 1.
Oh yeah, flip 1, Excel 1. Great.
Yeah.
Except this needs to be class changed.
Control Itsuki. Just fucking play Inigo.
Yeah.
Wait, this card has to be class changed in order to prevent the dodge? Piece of shit!
I told you, it's flip 2.
Oh my god!
God!
What a piece of shit. Okay, this guy's whatever. Like, on paper he's a better version of the 1 cost. In practice, it's like the 1 cost has the added versatility. Deployable off of support, deployable from hand, blah 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 blah. I like the 1 cost more than this card.
I run him over the pull because it's more consistent with the 1 cost.
I guess. I think the pull has situational use. But I can see why you run this over the pull. I suppose it's a matter of preference. Yeah, there's really not too much to say about this guy. He makes your Itsuki big and strong. Plus 50. Whatever. And the new Itsuki 1 cost, we can become 70 with this guy.
That's funny as hell.
But in order to play it with the new Itsuki 1 cost, you have to deploy it from your hand. No thanks.
Alright.
Nice turn for a play. Fucking thunder tits.
So when we originally translated it, it was like thunder. Irrelevant card.
Yeah, very
really
irrelevant
doesn't do
card.
anything.
Making your units TMS doesn't actually do much of anything. Buffs your TMS units by 10, whatever. Exalt Chrom already buffs your board and isn't a vanilla 0 cost. In the back line, she can't be attacked. That'd be cool if she actually did more. This card's pretty bad. Cypher OCs, lol. I'd really like to just skip these cards. I fucking hate Cypher OCs. Why do they exist? I'm tired of these clones! I could discard a card to gain plus 20. Amazing.
Wow.
It's a shittier...
Actually, it's not a card. I can discard a fucking evade.
It's a shittier Hector and Shiva. Fucking wonderful. A fighting state is pretty cool, right?
No.
Well, I guess that's not that bad as MC.
It's like kind of decent actually.
Give it a
I mean,
25.
the problem is you can't heal yourself. You have to heal something else.
Oh, it's something else, not
Yeah.
yourself. That's still fine. I'll give it a
It's still
25.
better than everything single other
Yeah,
thing.
I'll give
better
it a
than most
25.
Cypher OCs other than
it
Randall.
really is.
I'm still waiting for the Yuzu SR because she got a pretty good cardless cost one last set.
Dude, they need to literally make a set dedicated
Yeah, they
to
should.
Cypher
They
OCs.
should make a set dedicated to Cypher OCs.
That would be nice. That would be a nice change of pace.
It'll be like a mini set.
Oh, the god. Mob Valjean. The fucking best thing in the entire
That
set.
is the general smelling like smoke.
He controls
He's
Alice.
clean and tidy.
Alice.
Frederick would be proud.
Yeah.
He's pretty bad. 50 base 1 range. What the fuck are you gonna do with that?
Backline.
In the
I love
bottom.
hard minusing myself from my hand, dude. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Just run any other flip 1 healer I can actually attack too.
It's Corrin.
Alright, so we're done with blue.
Dawn breaks
Going
through
into white.
the blue.
We thought this card would be a good bridge. Turns out you're better off running ST Mamu for Ninja Emblem, Grima shenanigans. But
Yeah.
I think DB Mamui might still have some merit. So the thing is like this card basically serves to function as a mid-game engine for Mamui. Mamui is like your main gambit is you go into 6-5 Mamui, you buff your board, you draw a shit ton of cards every turn with the combination of reusing Tenebon, Seal, and Arete. You buff your field, you have a bunch of like low-cost weenies. It's just a combination of being an 80 base, you punch the shit out of your opponent, and you draw a bunch of cards. You can't really go wrong, right? It's part of the reason why Mamui is such a good MC. Obviously, the issue with that is that you gotta find something to do for the first 5 turns. And Mamui's traditional mid-range package is you just play Arete and you play Femui. You just spam the shit out of Arete. Arete puts a lot of pressure on board because if she isn't removed, she's just going to continue giving you a free card every turn. And when she is removed, you can summon her with Femui. So that's what you do for your mid-game. I just realized, oh my god, look at Sakura's face. What the hell?
God.
She looks like she's scheming something, dude. Holy
No, that's
shit.
just the samples, though.
Samples in the way.
Yeah.
Alright, well, anyways,
Still scary as fuck.
yeah, it's funny, I was like, damn, dude,
Yeah.
she looks like she's gonna kill me. Fucking, your main
She will.
gambit is the Arete family bullshit. That's what you do in the mid-game as Mamui. And so, that strategy competes with what's basically being offered up to the table in this set, the Dragon Blood engine. So, instead of using Arete and Femui, you instead have the option to use Mamui here, along with the other Dragon Blood cards, Hinoka and Sakura. I think we should probably talk about these cards while we're talking about Mamui too, because
Yeah, that sounds like
that's how the mechanic works. Yeah.
Yeah. So, really, what we're considering here is whether Arit Family as your mid-game engine is more or less worth running than this guy and Hinoka and Sakura. Where fucking Sakura? There she is. So, Mamui buffs all of your Dragon Blood units by 10 attacks, or by 10 attack. And then...
During your turn.
Yeah. Hinoka and Sakura... Well, Sakura's like the main one to talk about here. Sakura gives your other Dragon Blood units, which are basically Mamui and Hinoka, the ability to flip a bond to draw a card if they hit. So, this obviously...
Non-MC.
Yeah. Oh, is it non-MC?
Yeah, it is non-MC.
Ooh.
that just became a whole lot shittier.
I didn't
It's
know.
all fine.
It's fine.
It's got a lot worse.
I mean, you have to kill something that isn't the MC to get your draw.
I mean,
So-
you're trying to control the board early as DV
Like, being
Mamui.
able to pressure them is really nice. I felt
Well, you
like...
can't pressure them if you're playing DV anyway.
Yeah,
They're all
exactly.
50. They
Yeah,
have like an
that's
80 base
true.
beater, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Just the ability to force your opponent to dodge, though, is nice. You can't do that now, apparently, so that sucks.
You thought it was that the whole time?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my god.
And then Hinoka, her main gimmick is that she has the ability to flip one and move your opponent's shit around, so I guess that's the idea. You move shit to the front line so Corrin can hit, and then flip the draw of Sakura's Dragon Blood. And your general idea in the mid-game is you just try and hit as much shit as possible with all of your Dragon Blood units so you can draw as much as possible with your Dragon
It's pretty
Blood.
good. It's alright.
I have a few issues with it. My main issue is that if you don't draw Sakura, it's so vanilla. You like, actually aren't doing shit. My second issue is bonds.
Bond spending, yeah.
Yeah. You also probably want to run the Tomato Fucker in Mamui because he's a very good card.
Yep.
So, Tomato Fucker in combination with Dragon Blood, you might not have enough bonds. You also probably want to run Tinny, so that's also eating up more of your bonds. If you're playing 6-5 Mamui, you want to have 2 face-up bonds at all times so that you can give plus 10. You can keep that plus 10 buff open. Yeah, that becomes hard to do with this engine, I feel like, just because you're flipping a shit ton of bonds. I'm not a fan. I just think this engine's, like, really kind of vanilla, to be honest. I don't think it really does too much.
Needs more support like next set.
Yeah, I think it will definitely get better next set, because we're gonna get 5 more Dragon Blood units next set, and hopefully they add more to this mechanic than what we currently have, because right now I'm not really impressed.
Yeah,
I think I would much rather just run ST Mamui with ninjas or run Arit Family as my mid-game engine for Mamui. I think both options are a lot better than Dragon Blood. Alright, now here's a fan favorite card, Necro Corrin, as it is called, because he is a 2-drop 70 base, just like Necro Dragon. I don't have anything to fucking say about this card. Kokusho, you're like the guy who fanboys.
3 out of 5.
Oh, we didn't.
He's in Azura.
We didn't rate this guy. I'll give him a 3 out of 5 too.
Yeah, I'll give him a 3 out of 5. He's alright. He's an option.
Yeah. He's an option out of 3. He's probably my least favorite of the 3, but he's okay.
You only run this in Azura MC, and in Azura MC it's really broken.
Like, we already know Azura gets a buff next set, because Femui is gonna get another one exactly like this. So you already get another one.
Oh my god, that's scary as hell. Yeah.
Alright,
Because it's only going into his mind. Okay. Yeah, it's like good in Azura, but not very good.
not too much to say. It's a fucking 70 beater.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Pretty good in Azura, but Azura has issues we'll get into. Does Azura have a 40 drop 1 beater? It's only 30s.
It's 30.
Ugh. Now we have White Justice.
It's
a better one cost if you're running those.
Yeah, if you're running like
One
one cost
cost.
Sakura, it's not bad. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about one cost Sakura later, because that card's worth going over.
More hero emblems.
Alright, Azura, end of all. So, this card's more black-white fodder that actually does shit, so that's cool. That's gonna earn her a place in a lot of decks simply just, like, by virtue of being black-white fodder that actually does something. A lot of decks run black-white fodder that's completely vanilla, literally just for the purpose of running black-white bond fodder.
Like Shigura, for example.
Yeah, exactly. I think Azura's okay. I think she works well in like some decks, but not very many. And most of the decks that she works well in kind of struggle to make room for her. I'll be back. You guys talk about Azura.
Oh yeah, you get like a bajillion on taps.
Yeah, you can play her now. So yeah.
Another thing that's really good. Yeah, Gray MC really appreciates her. Because he can just get like 3 attacks in the same turn, 1 deploy. I've tried her a bit as MC. It's pretty interesting. There's like an aggro build where you just play the Corrin 2 costs that have downsides if you don't have an Azura, but since you have an Azura, it'll just be like no downside. And then you just beat down your opponent, and then finish them off with like Gray or Saber. It's pretty cool, but the problem is like it's kind of gimmicky. I haven't tried Control Azura yet, but it looks okay. The problem is like Tiki's a 5. Like the whole point of the Control Azura, you run Tiki 5, and then you attack, Bond Excel, untap, attack, Bond Excel. And then next turn you like Jenny or Delta.
Probably Jenny, right?
Yeah, probably Jenny. And being a 70 base that can hide in backline is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like basically a better Nails. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe not better because you cannot hide that well, but yeah.
Yeah. Hills is probably better. In like
In a splash at least,
Lane.
Nails is better.
Yeah. If you're able to splash this in Lin, I would try it, but the problem is like you're cutting like 11 stuff out of Lin to splash this in Lin.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good card.
Yep.
Also, it just randomly gets to void a stone unit every turn, lol. That's so dumb. Like, why do they give void just like so much free stuff? It should be a mechanic that's very lightly put out.
But they aren't giving it.
Yeah,
Like, they're just throwing it in every
they're
single
just
card.
throwing void every single card. What the heck?
Alright.
Let's
We pretty
go.
much said everything we wanted to say about this thing. We can.
It's alright. It has some applications in
Mhm.
like certain decks like Gray.
Gray.
Ow.
Ow.
Might be hard to splash. Like, it's probably only worth splashing in Gray. It's probably not worth in, like, Lin or Hal or whatever. And,
I mean,
And has
you
use
can
in
just
black,
put
white
12
decks.
Azura. You can put 12 Azura and call it a day,
that's
honestly.
just, like, such a waste of space, though, at the same time.
Yeah. I mean,
You could be running
in
Red
Owl,
instead
not
of
so
all.
much, because,
Hal has all wasting space, so.
Yeah.
like, my current Azura build runs 12 Azura, every single copy of Owl, Portion Ants, and then every single Fate Emblem and Dragon Emblem in the deck.
It's a fucking meme. It's but, like,
bond spenders. Oh my god.
I run Natasha, okay? It's the only one that you actually need.
I guess
and
it's
Matthew.
something.
I run Natasha and Matthew.
Alright, I guess that's something. Okay.
The rest of the deck
It's
is
an
just
okay MC. It does stuff.
he untaps, that's it. That's everything he does.
0-1, nothing much to say. Black White Bond, 20 base, it's okay.
Third
Yeah.
base.
Yeah, 20 support.
I mean, 20 support, yeah.
Someone pointed out something interesting on the Discord. Apparently, this art is from the viewpoint of Dragon Corrin in like Chapter 5. You know, when
yeah,
Oh yeah, I
you see
can
like
see
the
that.
see like the it's
the
cool.
class.
It's a nice little touch.
Why couldn't this card be the one where he's stepping on her neck?
That's,
Okay. Ryoma. This card's really bad.
yeah, it's terrible.
It's absurdly bad.
Like, we knew it. Oh,
Yeah.
It doesn't
flip
do anything.
1 for range 1 too. Like, it's like Corrin, except a lot worse, and has less of the use as like a mid game plan to use like before you promote, because Ryoma MC just promotes turn 4 anyways. Doesn't need to wait 2 turns. It's only 1 turn. So like, oh, I promoted it to Ryoma. Now I'll play Dragon Blood units. Oh wait, I could just promote instead. Like, Ryoma doesn't have an ability to play Dragon Blood units from his hand like Corrin does with his flip 1. He doesn't fucking what's it called? He doesn't give Dragon Blood units +10 so for 50 bases. Why? To just fucking
Alright.
Flip 1 bond.
flat tap 2 and flip 1 to untap.
Ninjas.
Yikes!
like, if that was the Dragon Blood, I would even consider it being somewhat decent, but that is just bad.
Yikes! Hard
Like-
1 out of 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy bad card.
Flip 2 white bonds
Another vanilla
to gain
Ryoma one.
20 attack and range 1/2. Fuck.
Another vanilla.
We talked about
Yeah, yeah,
Hinoka works with the Dragon Blood package
Yeah.
alongside Sakura. Hinoka 1 is
Oh,
a
barfing risen! This art's great. There's a barfing risen in the background.
What's his hair, by the way? It's just like, who is she attacking here?
Isn't that the like
It's a
the
Pegasus.
Pegasus?
Oh, that's
exactly.
just,
Yes.
that's just a Pegasus main. Okay.
Okay.
Rescue Flyer. Blah, 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 blah. Takumi.
Let me
So-
just.
This guy isn't completely unredeemable like Ryoma. You can run him alongside Hinoka and Sakura if you want another body to proc your Dragon Blood skills, because he's 2 range. Makes it a lot easier to proc your
Yeah.
Dragon Blood skills being an 8.
Just use it with like Sakura on the same turn and DB
Exactly.
Mamoy,
You never
and then
actually
you
use
drop it.
Takumi's DB skills. His main purpose is just to serve as an extra body to proc DB skills. He's okay if you have extra space and you want to run him. I'm personally not that big of a fan of him. He's fine. I wouldn't say he's complete garbage like Ryoma here.
Yeah.
Because he's not. He's
2.5 more like
2.5. He's basically a 2 out of 5. I don't think I'd run him. So here's Takumi 1. Maybe he'll have like some, I don't know. He's pretty
Mustard
bad.
emblem.
Yeah.
Like at least in the context of Unlimited, we have set 2 Takumi 1 at shit gates. This is basically the same thing, except the +10 is less situational, and you have the 40 attack emblem, which is really good, obviously. I will say for this guy is that he is better than other Takumi in the early game, because he can trade with other cost ones like 40-40, but like early game other Takumi is going to be like 30 into 40 a lot of the time. But yeah, can't help.
You're
but
not
feel-
playing this time.
But at the same time, attack emblem's really huge. I feel like the other Takumi
Yeah.
is just better. We went over Sakura, essential component to Dragon Emblem or Dragon
Yeah,
Blood.
it's 1 for 1.
Yeah. Sakura 1. This card and Azama 1 are both interesting. They're
Yeah.
both flip 2 to heal, but they both have second skills that are actually pretty good. Sakura's is when another ally is destroyed by a cost or a skill. I don't know why it says cost, because how is your opponent paid for the costs of their skills?
Limstella.
Ah,
Yep.
lol.
There you go.
There we go. Then you can draw a card, which means it's a free card. You can't really go wrong with that.
Yeah. They'll usually kill this first.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing
In
is,
some
like,
situations,
considering
like
rail,
if they want to backline the May, and they have this Sakura
Yeah,
in the back,
so-
then that kind of fucks things up for them. If they have like low cost 1 to 2 ranges, just like running around, then they can fuck with Sakura. But I think there's certain situations where she's pretty difficult to remove. I think she's fine. My main issues of her is: are you really going to allocate deck space for her? Honestly, I can't say that I am.
If you want to heal Mamoy, yes.
This is good in like family, I guess, because she used her own cost 1 Sakura.
Alright, Felicia.
Shittier Black Knight Nino. Okay.
It's all. This is a card. I wouldn't splash this. The problem is black-white.
Yeah, like that's
Well,
the main
black
reason
white
I
makes
think.
it pretty good in black white decks. You use it as black white bond fodder. It's just
I
like
guess. It's just black-white
Nino
bond
can
fodder.
attack, which is a big thing. Nino doesn't discard a random fucking card. The random discard really sucks. It was just like choose a card and discard, and that'd be like pretty
Yeah. 1 out of 5.
good. I don't
2
think she's that
maybe.
bad. She's
I'd
she's
run
black-
Shigure.
No, I'd run this over Shigure.
30 support.
I
Their
guess
support
that's
is
true.
pretty big.
The second skill is pretty good. You can give plus 10 attack to your main character when they're being attacked.
Once per turn.
So
Once
they
per
can
turn,
just
just like
use, they can
Lisa
just
one.
eat it up with like a fucking shitty ass low cost. Yeah, I don't think she's 1 out of 5. I think she has
1.5 out of
I'm 2. I'm gonna give her a 2.
I'd say 2 too, like.
Fuck you,
This is a
Gunter.
1 out of 5.
Fuck you, Gunter.
Okay.
You're getting a
I
negative
actually-
10 out of 5. Fuck
no,
you.
can I actually defend Gunther? I actually think it's decent.
I'm sure he's actually not that bad. I'm just pissed because I wish that he
You
got
got
a
the real Jagan.
yeah, he got
skill.
Jagan or Marcus's skill from set 13.
But like to be honest, like honestly, like to play this in somewhat mid-range Femui with the 4/3 white and the 6/5 black. That was my idea initially, at least. And you can use this as a
Yeah,
big play
exactly,
for the 4/3 and then as a bond.
But man, I know it's all right. Yeah, it's
So,
definitely better in Femui than the old one because you can use it as a bond. But
Yeah.
the fact that it gets sent to the void when it's destroyed kind of fucking sucks. At least in the context of White
Oh, yeah.
Femui 4/3.
Akku is pretty much better right now. Like,
Yeah, it's in the context of Selkie. I was really disappointed by that.
Yeah,
this
it's
card.
like you can't really use it in Selkie because if you do, it's just like
It's
if you
yeah.
won't have enough Gunter and retreat
to use
after you
family
lose
skill.
one.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of the time you get him in your hand, but don't get him in your retreat, and then your families don't do anything in that case because lol gets sent to the void. And it would have been really nice to be able to bond this guy because Selkie struggles to make room for black cards. So yeah, it just kind of sucks. I'm sure he's fine. I'd say he's like a 3 out of 5. He certainly has use. It's just disappointing.
Yeah.
Like, they really couldn't have just given him the Marcus or Jagan skill. I hope he gets one in set 15, and I hope this is just like flavor. I kind of have my doubts I won't get one, though, unfortunately.
I'm a preaching manga. Kind of just whatever card.
So, some guy was talking about using him as MC, which I don't think would be entirely terrible if not for the fact that this is his 1 cost. I think if he had an actual
1 cost, but both are healers.
yeah, both
they
are
both
healers,
suck.
though. Yeah, exactly. I think if he had an actual 1 cost, this might actually be decent as a MC. Like, look at that second effect. It's pretty fucking good. Clear
When you
dirt.
can attack and not destroy, you can destroy a cost
Defeat
too
a
long.
Bowie, destroy a Bowie.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And if they have cost 2 or lower enemy units they haven't attacked with, they just get destroyed before they even get a chance to attack. I think it's a pretty solid fucking skill.
Oh, that's actually pretty... Oh, holy shit. You can actually... If Itsuki attacks you, you can destroy his Mirage Chrom.
Yeah.
Oh,
oh,
Like, see, I think that this card is actually fucking good as MC. The issue is just this. Like, fuck. Yeah, it's a shame. I don't think this guy has any use of Splash. I think this is definitely a card that was, like, intended to be MC'd, but
Live
good,
2 and draw a card.
good luck actually MCing it with this dude. I'll give him a 2 out of 5 for now.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
could...
Yeah, he could get better eventually. If Azama gets an actual 1 cost somehow. Ooh, look at that Hinoka up there. That's cute.
Oh, nice. He is anti-Dark Emblem, cost 1.
So this guy is kind of similar to where is she? Yeah, Sakura's
Sakura.
1 cost, except instead of proccing off of fucking what's it called? Off of destruction, procs off of discard. I actually like this guy better than Sakura 1 because the main form of discard is Delthea, and Delthea activates before your opponent has a chance to destroy Azama, unlike with Sakura. So you're much more likely to get the free card with Azama. At the same time, though, it requires like your opponent Delphiaing you, which is rarely ever a good thing. So
Hey, I just realized if you play this in what's her face, Lucina MC, you can get
It's
Delphia.
opponent skill. Oh yeah. Just like go +2 after you get duded. It's kind of
They
fun.
Delphia you, and then you just draw 2 more cards. Like what up?
is Alina's thing not once per turn?
It's once per turn.
Oh,
but
yeah,
it's
then you draw with
opponent's
Azama. Right.
Immunity to Delphia, nice.
Yeah,
I think this card's okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty niche.
like 2,
If you
3.
want
yeah,
some
two,
random
three is
anti-dupe thing. 3, yeah.
Yeah, because
If you're
two
expecting
is you
your
would not
opponent-
run it. 2 is you would not run it. 3 is like
Yeah.
you might run it. Yeah.
Yeah, you might.
Put it in there.
Great!
Can I give that a 0 and just leave?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Oboro player is
Triggered.
very displeased with this card.
I
Can
am.
I point something out about this thing's first skill?
What?
Sure.
Flip the way it's worded. Move 1 frontline ally, and then move 1 backline ally. You can just move the same thing twice.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Like you can move. My question is, if you promote in the middle of the effect, do you get the going back to the front? Because that would actually.
You can just. Oh,
Yeah, exactly. Like if you move to the back
I'm
line.
rolling on that. Probably
I mean, it
awesome.
doesn't really matter.
My belief is no, because it says then.
Right.
If they happened like at the same time, maybe. But then if they happened at I don't know. That's
Yeah,
weird.
the whole then says do this, and after you did that, do this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's still a bad card, and I'm
Bad
triggered
card.
because Oboro didn't get it.
It's a terrible card.
How
Overall
about
maintenance
this one
deserved it.
cost?
This one.
Oh, actually.
Yeah.
It's actually decent. But the one before
Yeah,
is actually
it's-
better.
The move this untapped unit is like frontline only, isn't it?
It's
No, no,
it's to proc the Oboro's skill.
Yeah, I mean, it's decent if you already have promo in your hand, but it doesn't mill any cards like the old cost one.
Exactly. The milling is too
Yeah,
way
I've
too
heard
big.
some people say that this is the better cost one, but I kind of feel like the old one would probably be better.
No, it isn't. No, it
Yeah.
is.
Art-wise, it's better.
I don't even remember what the old one looks like, so okay.
I'm not
Alright.
gonna argue with that. I don't want to argue about art.
So neither of these cards do anything
Yeah,
for Oboro
probably.
MC. Meh.
The other one cards is okay, I guess.
Flip one
Hinata.
to untap. Whoa.
If this backline unit moves,
I'll give him a 2 out of 5. Flip one to
Yeah,
untap
sure.
isn't horrid. It's just not very good. It's playable. You can
flip
probably-
one, great
You can
swap.
probably win some games with this guy if you cared enough to build him, but it's just like, why would you play him?
You can probably win some games with this guy if your opponent is bad enough.
Yep, basically.
All right, can we please?
I mean,
move
his
on
skill's a
with that?
1
I
for
can-
1. You know who else is a 1 for 1? Micaiah.
Micaiah's, a better one for one.
Micaiah is a 1-for-1 that goes to your hand. This one is a 1-for-1 onto the field. He punches the field.
Yeah, he's a 1 for 1 that either discards a card from your opponent's hand or he gives him the Noire. So, still a 1 for 1.
Next.
Next.
Alright, fine. 2 out of 5.
10 out of 10.
Down!
Next card.
No, we have better sword.
Yeah.
When your
Next,
opponent
are you
is
in-
so
are
small.
you
This
in
guy looks like
Garden
even
here?
worse Holland.
Alright.
There we go.
We
Now we
really-
got to the real good part of this white.
Best card.
That is
of the
white
white set.
expansion. The only fucking really good card to come out of this set is black. So much
Yeah.
for white justice.
White chest.
Alright,
Let's
let's talk about Leon!
Okay, so
He masturbates to his enemy mages.
Oh my god.
oh
God.
So basically, this card is a big FU to all mage base decks.
yeah, the meta from last set is
All
fucked
mage
because of
based
this guy.
decks. So basically, most decks.
Yeah, most decks. Basically. You can't go full mage anymore. You can't have
Yeah.
like non-impactful
If you run full
mage.
mage, then this card will just run you through. This card makes black a viable splash, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I've been running 16 Leo in a bunch of my decks, 15 or 16. Sometimes I only run 3 of this guy.
You know, I think it's incorrect to say that it makes black a viable splash. I
It
think
makes Leo a viable
Leo a viable
splash. That's fair. But yeah, literally you just splash Leo. Leo actually just carries this entire color on his shoulders. That's how good this card and his 2 costs, or not his 2 costs, his set 2/5 cost are. Because his set 2/5 cost is also an extremely good, underappreciated card. It gives you access to early Delphia.
it's underappreciated because no one thought this card was good until Dalthea came up and said, "Hey, I do what Satu Leo does, but it's free."
Mm-hmm. But also worth noting that, just in general, random discard 2 fucks with all the 2-card combos, which is Delphia, but also other shit like Jenny mainly, and, you know. So
Random other.
set 2 Leo is really good, and set 14 Leo here makes set 2 Leo even better, giving him more viable Leos to run as discard options.
Yep.
But yeah. So that's basically how most decks will be running this guy, in my opinion. You're just going to use like 16 Leo for 15, 4 of him, 4 of the set 2 Leo, then 8 cost 1 Dark Emblem Leos. You know, you can never go wrong with Dark Emblem. One of them's even a 40 beater if your opponent has 4 or less cards in their hands, so it's pretty good. Yeah, this guy's really fucking good, though. We kind of mentioned him earlier in Morgan. He can delay your opponent's Delphia, because... basically, we haven't really even talked about what he does. He destroys all of your opponent's tomes, and then if he destroyed any tomes with the skill, they can't deploy tomes during their next turn. So, obviously, if you procced his skill, that means they can't deploy Delphia on the following turn. Which, really good. We've talked a good deal about how winning the Delphia race is so crucial, and Leo really helps you do that. Both him and Set 2 Leo. Set 2 Leo also effectively lets you win the Delphia race because he basically gives you the first Delphia because he himself is like a budget Delphia. So that's kind of just Black, aka Leo's entire niche. Decks looking to win the Delphia race benefit from Leo a lot. Yeah, obviously, just the ability to use this card and clear all of your opponent's mages is so good. May gets a lot worse with this card existing.
Any non-impactful mage in a deck basically
Is
just
now,
like worse.
yeah,
It's just
made
gone.
even
You need
worse.
to cut them.
Well, all mages are worse now, but you really don't want to just be willy-nilly deploying random mages, because if you do, you risk them getting hit by Leo, and then you can't deploy mages on the following turn. So this card just does so much. It wipes your opponent's board clean of tomes, and it prevents them from deploying tomes next turn.
And it is a 100
Yeah,
beater,
it's
by
a
the way.
100 beater.
Yeah, so
it's
it's
face.
basically guaranteed.
And
Yeah.
it does all of this for the price of 1 bond. Frankly, it's a fucking absurd card. I'd be remiss to give it anything less than a 5 out of 5. It's going to completely change the way
5
the
out of 5.
game's played. I don't know if I missed anything. I guess MC Leo.
Well, it's a wall.
Yeah. I guess if you wanted to MC Leo, you could like run set 2 Leo, and then you use this as like a backup promo in specific matchups. But it's whatever. My throat's starting to hurt from talking so much.
Drink some water.
Mm-hmm. That's the plan. All right. Nothing else to say about Leo then?
Nah.
Right.
Pretty much.
Really, really good card.
Really good.
Yep.
Him and
Incredible.
Grima are probably the best cards in the set.
Yeah. Alongside the third card that we didn't
Alongside with Garon, the Dark Dragon of Noire. Look at this puppy on his arm. Why does he have a fucking dog on his arm? Look at that. Look at it. It
damn
looks
it.
like a dog's face.
You should have Jared have it.
Yeah. We should.
It's a Garon dodge if you want to play Garon.
Yeah, and you know, if you're playing a black MC,
because playing Garon's gonna be so possible with this set with this fucker running around.
Actually, you can play an uncle's MC because until you become an uncle's, your uncles aren't your MC.
Actually,
Yeah. Two
Then
out
next
of five.
turn, your Animkos gets banished. I think this card might actually have potential. I definitely wouldn't run him as
Yeah, it's
MC.
random discard.
If
but
you're
it's
running
pretty
him
good.
as MC, you're just using him as a dodge. You're not actually going to bring
Yeah.
it to him. But
I
I think
mean,
he's actually a decent splash. Like Grima, he's 71 to 2 range, which is pretty fucking good.
It's actually 80 sometimes, 80 a lot of the time because you need a
Yeah.
black bond to deploy him.
Yeah, very true.
And that's pretty
Then
good.
he has random discard. Only if your opponent has 5 or more cards in your hand. But still, random
Which
discard.
kind of sucks
Random
because
discard,
this
always
card
random
gets
discard.
better the last cards they have. But yeah, I guess a trio.
Random
If
discards.
there is
man.
one deck I can actually see myself running this card in.
What
That's
deck?
Selkie.
Oh, right. You just pop it and
Yeah.
randomly discard your
71 to
opponent.
2 range, destroy your
Oh,
play
and you
thing.
can use it to destroy the fucking playthings. Oh, that's actually neat.
Yeah, exactly.
But zero supply.
Yeah, exactly. That kind of sucks.
That's pretty fucking neat.
Yeah, I think he's alright. And your opponent generally has a pretty large hand when you're playing Selkie
Selkie,
because you're
can
beating the
punch
shit
him.
out of him. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think he might actually be fairly solid in Selkie. I'll be very generous and give him a 3 out of 5 just because I think he's a really cool card.
Yeah. Alright, now let's go to the best card of the entire set.
No.
Fuck you.
yay!
Fuck you. This card is not okay. Fuck IS for making
fucking
this
amazing.
card. Fuck
You thought
IS
it was
for
a
making
good
this
idea.
card.
Yeah.
Fuck IS for
card.
making this card. Holy shit.
Never
Too soon, IS. Too soon. Too soon.
Never-
Even the faces
Always
were out
too
forever.
soon, you motherfucker.
Always too soon.
Why is this a card? What the fuck?
For the record, I play 4 of in Femui.
Fuck
And
you.
yeah, I play her and I use her effect and I have fun with that.
Fuck
There you
you.
Worth. Hella worth.
Bree.
Actually, a decent splash, by the
I
way.
mean, it has. We should probably talk about what it actually does.
It's pretty good. Like,
It's an anti-unavoidable tech. The funny thing is probably the deck that would use this supposed to be Elise. You can't
Yeah.
fucking run it though because her name's Elise. She can't be a body shield for herself. God, why does this card exist? God. Fuck you, IS.
I mean, I suppose we could. Oh god, can we skip this?
No, man, we have to go over the Cipher OCs, dude. What a good card this is. Flip 2 bonds to gain plus 10 and range 1/2. At least Azama drew a card. Ah, fuck,
Two black
man.
bonds?
Yeah, flip
have
2
to-
black
yeah.
bonds, dude. Yikes.
You have to tap this to and flip to white to heal something. Oh my god. Why put
This
these
card is
heals-
just inefficiency, the fucking card, dude. Holy shit.
Nah, it's a black-white 30 support that helps your wallet because it's not expensive as Shigure.
It only costs like 50 cents instead of a full $1. Let's go, Emma.
You know, and you do realize that this thing also doesn't fucking kill a dragon. Shigur can suicide himself and take a dragon out.
Hey man,
Yeah.
some people's wallets are crying sometimes.
I'm taking you with me. Yeah, Emma's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
I feel like even if they made her costs 1 bond instead of 2, she still wouldn't even be that good.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Can we please move on? I see like one really important card in the PowerPoint.
Alright, so we've gone over Kokusho's Man Crush, we've gone over Aku's Man Crush, now we're gonna go over Figs' Man Crush. For some reason, Figs really likes this stupid ass fucking card. He gains plus 30 attack.
attack.
He can sometimes pull if he hits by flipping 1. Why the fuck does he have an axe? This is Path of Radiance Ike. They just took Path of Radiance Ike, they slapped the Vanguard shoulder guard from Radiant Dawn on him, and then they gave him the Irvin. Jesus Christ, IS. This card's a fucking travesty.
It's a Heroes reference.
This is fan service D card.
Where's the Fire Emblem there? I just want that. Laurent's medallion, please.
I mean, hey, it's a on-hit pull on a 100 base on attack. I mean, you can definitely find a way to play this somewhere, right?
No. I wouldn't even run this in Ike.
Okay, it's pretty horrible.
It's a bad card. Like,
I mean, 2 out of
Flipping
5.
one
Two out
bond
of
to
five,
pull
I
is
can
already
take 2 out of
bad.
5.
Flipping one bond and having to hit in order to pull? Are you kidding me? This card's a 1 out of 5. This card's not a 2 out of 5. Why the fuck would you ever play this? Ike 1. Flip 1 to gain plus 30. Why would you
Not
ever
happening.
play this
It's
over
a
set
level
12
Flip
Ike?
2 in Titania.
Gain plus 30.
Dude,
That's so bad. What the fuck? Oh, you all said Titania didn't get support this set. Ha! Take that.
The emblem is decent, actually.
It's
I mean,
just Solidarity Emblem.
Yeah,
It requires you to
yeah.
run green in your deck. No, thank you.
sure.
Okay, there we go. Now we're getting to the cool part.
We're
Yay!
getting to the hype.
Oh my god, no. This is not a hype MC,
This
but
is
it's a
one
really
of the
good
lame-
card.
This is one of the lamest MCs I've seen in a long time, but he is certainly good. Basically, his gimmick is he beats the shit out of you, and he clears your field, and then he kills you, and there's nothing you can do about it, because he's like
you can't hit him
100
back.
base. Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, how Gawain works is that basically at level 5, when he attacks the enemy MC, he destroys an orb. Like, just straight up destroys an orb.
You gets
And then
to,
he
he,
doesn't
by the
shoot.
way, he gets to choose, so, in case Xander
yeah.
didn't lose enough to this guy, to,
Oh.
he can pick the face up for
He
him.
gets to choose the orb?
Yeah, Gawain gets to choose the orb.
Why?
Yeah, like, that doesn't do anything most of the time, but, like,
I mean,
just
I
to fuck
suppose-
over the few decks that would actually care. Take that, Alphonse! Fuck
Dude,
you!
actually, that actually has some use because
It's like Alphonse and
let's say
Xander
your
already
opponent-
get
let's say
fucked
your
up.
opponent used Gany Overclass and put a Gany on his arms. You can force them to take the other arm.
Well, then they'll just take the hit and then take the Jenny, so who cares?
No, that's why you self-support.
Yes, genius. Fucking genius, Sakura. Holy shit.
Wipes their field if they're at 0 orbs after you break the orb, which is like
Yeah.
insane.
So if they're at 1 orbs and you attack them, their field gets wiped. So yeah, free field wipe, as if this set didn't have enough field wipe. We have Grima wipe in the field, we have Leo wipe in the field, now we have Gawain who just walks up and does it for free. This card's fucking crazy. And then his
Yeah.
first skill's really good too. He gets to be an 80 base on turn 3 when he promotes with his first skill.
And he buffs, like, Lincia.
He buffs his
and-
other units. He buffs a
Yeah.
Lincia who can untap and attack twice, so you're going to get hit by a 70 attacker twice on the turn you play a Lincia. That's
to
definitely
mention
the
this-
strongest interaction Gawain has. That's like the God curve. You really want to run new Lincia 5 in Gawain. She's like a super fucking good card to run in Gawain. You can also run Micaiah. She becomes a 71 to 2 range with Gawain.
The fact that he's essentially an always double break means that MCs that rely
He's a
on
lot
being on
better
the
than
front
double
line
break.
of their shit
Yeah, it's better
are
than
really, really crippled by him existing in the front line. Because, like, say Marv needs to attack or be in the front line to get an advantage. Gawain can just, oh, hey, you want to stay in the front line, you're going to keep losing 1 to 2 orbs every single turn that you sit there and have to evade everything else.
Sometimes you just lose 4 orbs in a single turn.
race
Yep.
and win.
Alright, we should talk about the Marth matchup. This guy, like...
Yeah, this guy has probably
He's
the
a
best
really
Marth
good
matchup in
Marth
the game. That's
matchup.
going to be his main niche in the meta, because His other non-mid-range matchups are kind of iffy. His aggro matchup is alright. He needs to get, it's pretty reliant on turn 2 promo and then getting your Mists and Elenas out as quickly as possible. Because Mist buffs him by 10, Elena buffs him by 10. The combination of those cards and your flip 1, you can become a 90 or a 100 base, which at that point you're pretty much impervious to aggro. But until you hit 90 base, you're still kind of in the danger zone when it comes to aggro. So it's fairly
in a way, he has a little bit of a weakness similar to Aira, in which it's common to say that Aira loses to herself. Gawain can kind of lose to himself if he doesn't get a strong enough curve early on, because he only becomes this devastating killing machine once he hits level 5.
Yeah,
that's pretty easy to hit level 5, so...
It's not
yeah,
so hard
I
to
mean...
level 5. I think the analogy of Aira beating herself is more just ran in the sense that you want to run lots of Aira so that you can activate her bond skill and you can increase your shredder consistency, but running lots of Aira also increases your chances of self-supporting, which is detrimental to her.
I meant it more in a way that the deck might just lose to the fact that the RNG wasn't on your side because of the things that you ran didn't work out.
I don't know if I'd say that necessarily means losing to itself.
Yeah,
you said that some of his mid-range matchups are a bit on the iffy side.
No, I said his mid-range matchups are his best matchups. I mean, I think his other matchups are a bit on the iffy side.
I think he absolutely must get to level 5 to actually win those matches, but
he needs to. How he wins most matchups is he has to get to level 5 and get his opponent to 0 orbs as quickly as possible. Once he's done that, you've reached the point where he literally starts wiping the opponent's board for free. And once that happens, it's just like, fuck, if you're not controlled, what do you even do against that?
You don't do anything. You just...
Aside from final desperation pushes, if he manages to survive the turn after the initial board wipe, chances are he's just won the game.
Yep.
He's also like 90 base a lot of the time.
Yeah, 90
which is
base,
impossible to final push him.
Yeah. So, we're saying a lot of good things about Gawain, but it's worth noting that Gawain actually does have some pretty big issues.
Loses to weakness and loses to control and tempo.
Yeah, so the thing about Gawain is he peters out pretty quickly. A lot of the time against decks that are field-based, this isn't too much of an issue because his inability to generate inherent advantage is made up from the fact that he wipes the opponent's board for free every turn. But in decks that aren't field reliant, Gawain ultimately ends up becoming a really vanilla MC that doesn't really have any means of fighting back. Which is why the control matchup is so terrible for him. At least control decks that don't care about building a field.
I suspect that he can do pretty well against Inigo MC.
Yeah, he will probably do fairly well.
Because he's a lot more reliant on his field than, say, Tiki, who just becomes a 90-base
The deck like Tiki will just eat Gawain for breakfast because, I'm at 0 orbs and you're clearing my board. I don't give a shit. I'm still just going to use Jenny and get 5 cards in my hand. I'm going to use Delphine.
Noe's even worse.
Noe's even worse because Noe can
hide
hide without being punished, unlike Tiki. And generally Gawain loses once he just runs out of cards because then he no longer has means of pulling his opponent, and then his opponent can just safely hide in the back line until they eventually win the game. That's the main issue of Gawain. He just peters out pretty easily. If you have a strong late game, it's not too difficult to stabilize against him. And then tempo is also really shitty for him too, because tempo can kind of just outrace him. You'd think Gawain would have a good tempo matchup because, he can clear the board and whatnot, but Cordelia...
Yeah, but you gotta get him to 0 first.
Gawain just gets hit by every tempo deck.
I honestly think Itsuki's probably a solid matchup for Gawain, but you look at the other big tempo decks like Cordelia and Eldegon. Eldegon just builds a field every turn.
Eldegon looks brutal.
I've played this match.
Yeah, Eldegon doesn't really care about Gawain wiping his board because Eldegon's just so good at continually
thanks for your free cards, dude.
Yeah, just continually building the board over and over again.
You killed my Salif. Let me pull another one from my bombs.
Yeah, and a Beowulf. And a Shannon.
And a Beowulf.
And then Cordelia is really bad, just because Cordelia kind of inherently fucks with Gawain. She can keep on moving back. She runs Fred, which prevents Gawain from pulling her. And she has Hinoka, which gives everything in her board indestructible. So,
And she doesn't care about 80 basic.
Pretty
yeah,
much.
she can hit
She
40
just,
base.
she just slaps him in the face.
Yeah, so Cordelia and Eldegon both fuck Gawain up pretty good. So the point I'm trying to make here is Gawain has an excellent Marth matchup, probably the best in the game, and that alone will give him a very strong place in the meta, but he's not the tier 1 god that a lot of people have been making him out to be, just because his
He's
other
not
matchups...
invincible.
Yeah, his other matchups take some work.
Yeah.
Aggro's winnable, but it's not as consistent as it would be ideally, and then Tempo and Control are just rough. For not
I
being
mean, Aggro is a bit more winnable because he has the Jagan 3-2, so, you know,
yeah,
it's
you just mull for Jagan 3-2.
so it's a bit more manageable, but honestly, against Cordelia, I think you just, well,
Well, take
What's
my
that?
MC, put it in the retreat.
pretty much, what's there to do?
Yeah,
She-
it's really hard for Gawain and
Yeah.
Cordelia. You just literally can't do anything while you get beat up.
All in all,
Alright,
I give Gawain a 4 out of 5 as MC.
Same.
Say,
same.
He's solid. He's not.
Right.
He's not 5 out of 5 worthy. He's not that disgustingly good, but he's definitely good. He's in contention with Inigo for the best MC in the set.
for the best MC. Alright, so
Missed
before you start with the next character, Barn, I'm gonna have to go, because, you know, food is around here, and yeah, I gotta eat. Thank you guys for having me here. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, we were glad to have you. Thank you for your
Sadly,
contributions.
I'm not gonna be here for the other possible 5 out of 5 or 4 out of 5 card in the set, but it was great to be here. I wanna thank you guys so much for everything.
Yeah, no worries,
See you,
man.
dude.
Yeah, see ya.
Also, sorry for all the swearing.
I think if the people who have made it this far, they probably don't care.
Alright,
Don't worry
cool.
about it. Alright.
See you, dude.
Bye, Aku.
Bye.
Okay. Mist. Resolution to protect your family. Yikes. Yikes.
It's a really bad card, to be honest.
Yeah, it's like once per turn, as another green unit, you control from your retreat to your hand.
She buffs them by 10. Wow.
Wow.
To be honest, I don't
that
think
card.
she's that horrid. I think she would be better if she could have grabbed herself and then given herself plus 10. And that way she could have been 70. But yeah, I think like she's okay. Flip 2 to heal isn't the worst. She's a 61 to 2 range. That's like a decent stat line. I give her a
But she would be a-
1.5 out of 5. I don't even know if I want to give her a 2 out of
She would be a 3 cost.
I don't
and
know
she
if I
would
want to
still
give her
be
a
bad.
1 either, though, because 1's like really bad. I want to say that her art's really cute. I think her face should be a emote. Look at how angry she is.
Anger.
Oh,
Andrew.
What?
Next.
oh wait.
Pretty interesting.
Yep. It's
Is it?
This one.
All LVS 2.
LVS 2! Oh my god!
I mean,
Flip
is
one.
anything broken LVS 2?
It'd probably be good with like Edward and Leonardo and Rajayan. The issue is just consistency. You're running it's a 2-card combo that's very early in the game. And it's just
Giant MC. Alright. I'll go with the 1.
Yeah, 1, maybe 2. but
Kinda
probably 1.
unusable. Maybe in the future.
You can give buff a cost 2 by plus 10. It's okay. Yeah. 1, maybe 2, sure. Titania, rest in
We thought this
peace.
card was so good.
She
I
was-
think she's pretty good. Still, the
Then
problem is the
this got
meta just
printed.
fucks her.
Meta just
Yeah,
fucks
this
her.
got
She got
printed,
nothing.
Then this got printed. Then this got printed.
Yeah, lol.
Then this got printed. It's just like,
Oh,
Jesus
yeah.
Christ. This is hard
So-
counted by the set she was released in.
She was so good on paper.
Her first skill, kind of irrelevant.
Well, you used her first
Currently.
skill mainly
You use
just
her
proc the
once.
second skill.
Yeah, no, you usually grow to level 3, in my opinion.
But
Yeah.
if you haven't
Yeah.
grown to level 3, you can
Yeah.
use it as a backup to proc the second skill.
And then
the
you
second
can
skill
use
is
the
the
first-
main reason why you run her.
Move any amount of allies is a really strong skill. You can preserve your board until they
If you make like
field
a
wipe
big
it.
tempo play, you play like a turn 4 Jill, summon a Ryoma, move them both back. Then turn 5, you can play something else in the front line, move your Jill and Ryoma back up, use Jill's skill again, summon a Scremier. You get a lot of board presence with this
Yeah.
card.
The issue is there's so much board wipe in this set that it becomes a...
It sucks.
Her first skill, okay, you can use it. You run Gawain.
Yeah, pretty much. Not you. Get the fuck out of here. This guy's like the only.
Run Gawain as
I'd
Splash
say
in
the
there
only
to
viable
fizz a
candidate
finisher.
for Titania's first skill.
Yeah, Gawain.
You probably play Mia, but
Yeah, if you wanted Mia, but otherwise, like, you just use Gawain.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give her a 3 out of 5.
Yeah,
She
3
would
out
have
of
been
5.
a,
She's not a bad MC.
I feel like
She
Cordelia
got
is
fucked
mostly
by the
better.
meta. Yeah.
She could
I
have been.
played her. She compares to Cordelia.
Yeah, I think
Like, she's
Cordelia's.
slower than Cordelia, but she's a lot, like, stronger board
At the
presence.
very
wise.
least, she has more options than Cordelia. But yeah, Cordelia is better. She has Hinoka to protect her against most of the destruction, not including Grima. Yeah, I give her like a 3 out of 5.
I'd give her a 3.
A 4 might have been appropriate had like a fuck ton of field destruction not gotten printed this set, but alas.
Rip. Cost 1 is a cost 1.
It's
If you sack, it's a 70 base.
The Kent support.
Alright, check out these nerds. Who fucking cares about them? Look at this
Yeah,
word cost. He has
Try. Yeah,
Look at this boy.
triangle. I mean, it's better than regular triangle attack, but it's still triangle
You
attack.
can flip a
It's
bond to
really
double
bad.
break. 1 green bond, no less.
Oh,
Eat your heart out, Ephraim.
Oh my god, not Ephraim.
Yeah, at the very
Yeah.
least, it's better than normal triangle attack because you get to actually attack with all of them. The issue is like actually fielding all of them. Good luck with that shit, dude.
Oh, Boyd cost 1. If Aggro Titania ever gets good, you can run him.
Oh, that's not bad. The thing is he's not even. Well, Edward's better. Edward's literally the same, except he's 40 plus
Yeah.
20. Yeah.
actually, Boyd.
I mean,
was-
he's there. You just run both, honestly.
hmm
Discard a card, 1 green ally.
What an amazing card. Okay, this is just a shittier Leonardo. This art also looks super disturbing. I remember
Yeah.
seeing this in the stream reveal back in like set 12 or whatever. I was just like, what the fuck? It's just disturbing. Yeah, you'd like MC Oscar probably if you want to do this 3-bow
Yeah.
triangle attack shit.
which you don't.
The really shitty thing is, like, if you play this guy in the back row and Oscar MC, and then they kill your wolf, this guy's just a shitty-ass 1 range in the back line and can't do anything.
You should only just grab the wolf roll. Oh, Riss. This is an interesting card going into future
Yeah.
sets.
Give me a
He's
minute,
a girl?
I'll be back.
Pretty good card. Riss. It's like a Natasha, except growth and heal.
Yeah, I'd honestly play him in Gawain, but
Yeah.
You really
Bond
need the
with him, Gawain. Maybe in Ike, actually.
maybe. But
Yeah,
like,
if you go mono green Ike.
Ike is pretty dead anyways.
Yeah, Ike
like
is pretty dead. It's like lol Delphia, lol Leo.
lol Grima. The fuck? Like
Oh yeah.
Grima just
Nice
destroys him.
evade you have.
that you're trying to grow. It'd be a shame if I just threw them all in the trash.
Fucking shame.
Alright. So,
Okay.
what do we think about Riss?
He's alright.
Pretty good card.
Yeah, you can't run him in Gawain though. It's too slow and costs too many bonds.
Don't think you can run him in the way, and then what the fuck are you gonna run him in?
In I. Yeah.
Wow, 1 growth in Ike. Amazing. For a
I mean,
free
he
cost
adds
that
a
flips
card
too.
to your hand. Maybe if there's some other MC
Honestly,
that
I'm not a
requires
fan
a
of this
growth.
dude. I don't think he's that good. He's a lot worse than Natasha. I know he's being compared to Natasha, but like Natasha, you get so much out of her. Stack from Retreat is fucking amazing. It's way more impactful than just Growth 1. He should have been Growth 2, to be honest. Then I think
I would have preferred just Growth 2 instead of getting the MC to my hand.
I mean, yeah.
Flip 2 to Growth 2 is iffy, though. But, yeah.
I mean, it's like you don't have to run either Alicia or Micaiah and Grail. You can just play that if you can do that.
Yeah, it's an instant. Yeah, it'd be instantly.
I see no
instant growth.
problems.
2.
Yeah, I'll
I
give
guess.
him
Yeah,
a
2.
Feature 3.
Maybe.
Maybe something will come out to make it better. I don't think that's that good. I don't think you get very much value out of this skill. The Pacifist Priest.
It's a
It's
basic
a
heal.
1-cost healer.
Yeah.
Wow, that actually
next.
did
1, 2, I
literally
don't know.
nothing. Amazing.
Yeah.
Shinon.
Oh, it's so good! It's like May, except it's not.
Except you have to tap, and he doesn't give your mages +10, and you don't draw a card.
Oh, 1-3 range.
And it's
Whoa.
in a much worse color.
Yeah, but it's a pretty much card to be honest.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to go in a splash. I thought they were trying to go in a splashable direction, and then they make this thing only green. You know, if maybe this was like 1-3 range.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
your main character has to be green.
Yeah,
in
your
order
main
for it to
character
get
character has to be
range?
green.
Oh god, that's terrible.
So that's a 1 out of 5.
Yeah, that's a 1. Maybe a 2 at the 1.
I think 1's a bit harsh. I think 2.
It might be a 2. Because
Maybe.
Sun's goes pretty
Now
decent.
this fucker's a 1 out of 5. What the hell would you run this with? I guess use it with like
All I am.
Rolf or Leonardo to make them 50. Wow, who fucking cares, dude? This card's really bad. Man, I love Sheena. He's such a like a good unit. He's a cool guy. Wish they gave me better. I was really hoping for a Shinon SR this set. Alas.
I kind of want him really hard.
I want him really hard.
No, but like, oh man. No, not really. Like both Har and Shin deserve a good
I thought you said I
they
want
don't
him
get it.
really hard.
No.
Yeah, Har and Shinon both definitely deserve SRs. The unsung heroes of Radiant Dawn. Gatry.
Seeker of the true love.
Alright, so we were talking about Kjelle earlier. Gatry's basically just the same thing, except he's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, he's an anti-aggro.
It's basically the same thing, except you flip any bond except the flipping an armor bond. So
Yeah.
It's not that
I
good
think
either.
he's okay.
I think he's better than a few other arsons. So.
Yes.
That's not saying much, but
I'll give him a 2 out of 5.
Yeah.
You can play him MC and it wouldn't be that bad.
You should probably just play Validar instead, to be honest.
If he had a close one.
What the fuck does this guy do? She's the one for me.
Oh, it's the derpy fate, the lazy-eyed villager girl in the background. Yep. 40 based armor unit if you have a female.
Amazing.
One cost. Like,
He also
one
got a
set.
60 base armor, 1 cost armor unit. This
Yeah,
let's move on. Oh wow, it's like one of those it's a one. Well, generally this card's a 1 cost. Soren deciding to 1-up the competition makes himself a 2 cost instead. next. Mia.
Surprisingly good. Really fucking good, actually.
You run this in Gawain as another pull option.
I wouldn't say she's really fucking good, but
I mean,
she's solid.
not really fucking good. It's like,
She gives
decent.
Green a viable pull option, which is cool, especially in conjunction with Mia 1, because running her and Mia 1 alongside each other make both much more consistent as far as pullers are concerned. So I think she's okay. I'll give her
a 3.
I think 4 might be a bit much.
Yeah, too much. 3.5 if you could do that.
Good. Because 4 is like widespread splash. You're not like splashing this in a lot of decks.
Splashing doesn't exactly want.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Who knows? Maybe there's another green MC that needs pull.
Oh.
Yeah, green MC is low.
Alright.
Iliana.
Last big hitter was...
So this card is really good. I can't decide whether I want to give it a 4 or 5 though, because I don't think it. I'm leaning towards 4. I think she's a really good 4-star, but I don't think she is gonna like fuck up the meta the same way Leo and Grima are. So I can't, in good conscience, give her a 5-star. Although she is a very good card, and her existence alone has made green actually a viable splash color. You can run her alongside Jill. You have enough green cards to actually make the whole thing worthwhile. Iliana just offers you a lot from one card.
Yeah, it's like
none of
draw
her,
2 and then,
none of her effects by themselves are that amazing, but you bundle them all into that one package and you get a very solid card. You have access to extremely versatile field removal if you like. Just tapping and discarding to destroy one is fine. You can also tap and discard many cards to like wipe your opponent's field. Whatever you need, she has you covered. And then second skill, just 2 for 2. You really can't go wrong with that. You compare Iliana to Mei. Technically, Seraphim is more efficient than in Hungering Lightning Magic, but I like to call it the Beowulf clause. You compare Beowulf to, say, White Femily or Jill. White Femily, you use her skill over the course of 3 turns, and you get 6 attacks, 3 from Femily and 3 from Gunter. Meanwhile, you use Beowulf's skill, the whole entire kit once in the course of 1 turn. You're flipping 6 bonds, and you only get 4 attacks. So you get 2 more attacks out of Femily than you would get out of Beowulf. So in theory, you also get more board presence. So in theory, Femily is a better option. In actuality, Beowulf's ability to be able to use up all of those bonds in the course of 1 turn actually makes him a much more effective option than Femily in the decks that he is considered strong in. And it's the same idea with Iliana. Technically, Seraphim is more efficient than Iliana's skill because, you use Seraphim twice, you're discarding 2 cards to destroy 2 of your opponent's units. But unlike Iliana, there's no tap there. You can still attack with Mei, but Iliana can destroy many units at once with her skill, which is what makes her strong.
And Grima.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Like the old
and just
one,
the ability to discard whatever is really nice too. Like with Mei, you have to discard other Meis. It would be I think it'd still be like okay if you had to discard Iliana. It wouldn't be nearly as good, but you still do run like 8 Iliana generally because you want to run 1 cost so you can get her out on turn 4. Because of the master class, you want to mitigate the fact that she's a 5 cost. The fact that you can discard any card doesn't just have to be Iliana is really nice if you have just random shit in your hand that isn't really helping you out. 1 cost that you don't have crit multiples of, so you can't use as crit fodder. Just chuck them. Use them. And then you can draw 2 cards in 1 turn. Like, it's the same thing. Flip 2 to draw 2. A lot of cards have the ability to flip 1 to heal as opposed to flip 1 to draw, or in some instances just draw for free. But Iliana's ability to be able to flip 2 and draw 2 at once without having to wait multiple turns is what makes it really strong.
Yeah.
Iliana can just do so much in the course of 1 turn. As a card, she just offers you a lot. I think she's really strong.
And 2 for 2 is, I think, a pretty good, because a lot of time 3 for 2 or 3 for 3 or 3 for 2 is like pretty bond heavy.
Yeah.
Whereas 2 for 2, you can up some
You
bonds.
still
and
have a lot of
have
other bonds. Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't fuck up your bonds usage too much, for sure. Yeah, I think she's very good.
Yeah. 4 out of 5.
Third best card in the set
4 out of
behind
5
Leo and
probably,
Grima. Amazing card. 4 out of 5. Green is now a viable splash color. What a fucking world we live in.
Dude, we're black and green splash color.
So, as I mentioned earlier, you want to run 1-cost Ileanas in order to use this card. This is one of our options. It's personally my favorite of the bunch. The ability for her to not be attacked if you have 2 or more other units in a row is cool, because it gives you the potential ability to play this on turn 2 if you have some other shit in your back row, and then they can't clear it as easily, and then you can get this out on turn 3, which is pretty good. Lets you take control of the board very early on.
Also, if we get like another card like this, we can get Kellam MC invincible. Just
We can get what?
Kellam MC. Like
Oh.
another card like this, and we're done.
Or you can just use a fucking removal skill. That works too.
Sure. But Kellam.
Because God knows this set doesn't have any removal whatsoever. Do I need to go through all the cards that remove everything again? Jesus Christ, yeah. Removal, what's that? Look at him laugh. You got Marcia.
Tap flyer except 2 cost. Next.
Yep. I'm the OG. Yay.
Oh, see. If you have 3 or fewer cards in hand, this unit gains 10 attack.
Okay, so I actually don't think this card is that horrid.
Yeah.
And the reason why
Like
is...
Soren.
That's not
Soren.
why. I guess you could run her in Soren. Nah, I think she's actually like somewhat decent in Itsuki. Because yeah, in Itsuki, here's what you
Well, I guess you go down to low hand cards,
What
yeah?
you do, turn 4. Nah, it's because you can use Shade 1 and she's a 0 cost. Turn 4, you
Oh.
play Tiki 4 and Shade 0. Tiki out your Mirage Chrom into Exalt Chrom, play Fred, and then use Chrom skill to clash change Shade into this card.
I see.
Yeah.
It's alright.
Yeah, she's pretty vanilla though, unfortunately, but I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
She's an extra beater. She lets you make your tempo play happen a turn earlier. I think she's all
And now you can run Shade 1 to stop Dragon out.
Yeah.
I don't know if... I guess Itsuki probably has the space for this. He has a lot of space.
Yeah, he has a bunch of flex spots. He might be able to run it. Could be an interesting thing to try out and help speed up your tempo play. Yeah. That's it. That's the entire set.
That was the set. We did
trade this card?
Oh, we gotta rate it. I don't
4
know.
stars.
Oh. I'd say 2 stars.
Yeah, I'd say
Yeah,
like,
1 or 2.
I don't think 1 star.
2
2
stars. You
stars.
can run it.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kinda. Alright. That's been it from us.
Yeah.
This is a long-ass fucking video. My throat hurts like sin. Holy shit.
Ooh, we got a weekly to attend to in like an hour.
Yep.
Yep.
Alright, Kokusho, Daniel, thank you guys once again for joining me. I know I would
Thank
not
you
have
for
been...
having
No
us.
problem. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, my pleasure. I would not have been able to do this myself. I tried doing a set 13 overview by myself. It did not fucking end well.
Should've just done like an SR.
Yeah, I should have done that. But like it was bad. The entire video was just me going like because I just got like so fatigued from just like talking to myself for like a straight hour. Holy shit.
Alright.
Not fun.
That was a set, I guess.
Set 14.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good fucking set, I'd say.
Yeah,
It is.
better than 13 and 12.
Yeah. 12 had like 2 good cards. Actually, 12 had like 3 good cards, I'd say. Maybe 4.
Aries, Eldigan, Lachis.
Yeah, the 3... The
3 yellow horses.
Yeah, the 3 yellow horses and like Walhart. Those are like the good 12 cards, pretty much.
Lol
Yeah.
Green actually got like nothing.
Lol,
Yeah, lol fucking Ike. King of Black Rock. And set 13 was alright. Set 13 was a lot better than set 12. Set 12 just gave us like one really broken MC and one like decent MC. Wallheart being the broken one, of course.
Yo.
dude, inexorable.
Yeah, the inexorable conqueror.
Let's just not record.
Yeah, I should.
Yeah.
Set 14 was sick though.
Yep, it was.
I'll probably have you guys back on again for set 15 if you guys are up for it. We'll see though.
Yeah.
Alright.
Dude, I'm hella down for set 15. Okay, Femboy's in that set.
Family, where's
I'm
family?
ready for the royal cockstroking of Chris.
Please be
The
good.
royal cockstroking.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
It better be better than Mamwe SR.
Alright, and then
Better not be worse than Mamwe.
Yeah, because Family needs it a lot more than Mamui.
Yeah.
Family is kind of shitty. Anyways, I'm ending it. Thank you all for watching. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you. Alright.
Yeah, it's a
See-
long ass video.
Yeah, 3
See ya.
hours and 20 minutes. Probably a bit shorter once I'm done editing everything out, but yeah. Alright, hope to see you all for future content. Peace.